reason that I've brought you here today, Marcus, showing Mad Love Robinson, just in case you forgot, you're listening to Hyphen Nation, the Barack Obama approved world's greatest podcast. On July the 18th, I believe, will be the 10th anniversary of Christopher Nolan's second film in his Batman trilogy, The Dark Knight. And we are here to talk about this landmark film, at least it was in 2008. We're here to talk about whether that film is still a landmark, like we once thought it was. Of course, you have diligently made all these topics with love and care and tenderness with your black ass self.
Thank you.
And you're welcome. And so we're going to sit here as I actually watch it on my TV. It's on mute, of course, but I've seen it so many times, I know what's going on. They're getting ready to go after Lau. So, yeah. And your boy, Aaron Eckhart, a.k.a. Harvey Dent, just snatched the gun away from that dude. He was not cross-referencing. He was in the court and cross-examining a dude, and dude pulls out a gun, and Harvey just like disarms him like he's Batman in the middle of the court. So that's what we're here to talk about, because it's 10 years, and when I saw this film, I was blown away. And now when I think of this film, I still have warm feelings. But Marcus, does this movie still hold up? That's what we're here to find out.
Yeah, man, we're going to get into that. So we're going to talk about our initial reactions to The Dark Knight, and basically, 10 years ago, how this movie basically changed the landscape of Hollywood and comic book movies in particular. And then we're going to go, look at the legacy and of the actors and where it sort of holds in the Batman realm, so to speak.
Yeah. Before we get into it, though, I do want to say this episode, as all Hyphen Nation episodes, are brought to you by the Hyphen Podcast Group. That is my podcast network that I run with all this talent that I have, including this gentleman, Marcus, showing Mad Love Robinson. He now has a microphone. Shout out to Eric and to Mike of Isla Pal. It's like a podcast, whatever. Congratulations to K-Rock on her pregnancy. Shout out to Lane and Anthony and Eric and EG from Catch the Show. Everybody doing the thing. And, and I also want to say this show, Hyphen Nation, is brought to you by Mark Rob, the MarcRob.wordpress.com. That's your site where you drop insight when it's right all the time.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. I wanted to say that. And then shout out to Radio Public. Y'all need to give me a sponsorship because I love y'all's app.
Pay the man.
I just got sent an email, man. I feel like I could get that if I just explored it a little bit. I haven't had time to write the email.
Yeah, man. I mean, shit, man. When your lunch break, dropping the deuce, type that bad boy up, boy.
I can't be doing my lunch. I got to do it on the clock. I'm not going to I'm not pooping for free.
Okay. I hear that, man. Fuck that.
Have you tried the Radio Public app on your iPhone, Marcus?
I have, and it's beautiful.
Yes. It's super, super easy to use, isn't it?
Oh, very easy to use.
A lot of podcasts available. And I'm a big fan, but The Dark Knight, as Lau talks on his TV to this room full of gangsters in front of me. And Gary Oldman, before we found out he was Gary Oldman as Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah.
So what's up, Marcus? Let's do this. Dark Knight, 10 years.
Cool, man. So I wanted to know, your initial thoughts the first time you saw the movie, and, what were your thoughts like going in and leaving the movie theaters, and how do you think it changed your perspective on comic book movies and maybe even movies overall?
This is only a short time after I saw Iron Man. And Iron Man jumped to the top of my comic book list. Before, I would have said Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man 2, X-Men 2 were some of my favorites. But by the time when I watched Iron Man, I jumped to number one. Then Dark Knight came out, and the funny thing about Dark Knight is it's a Batman movie, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Joker movie. It's a Harvey Dent movie. The Dark Knight is a superhero film, but when I watched it the first time, I felt like I had watched a film. It did not feel like I obviously there's superheroes involved, but I thought the story was so in depth and so well told that I had watched a great film, even outside of the fact that, even before you get into the fact that it's about a man dressed as a giant bat and a man dressed as a clown. I was so thoroughly impressed with this work, with this movie, and I saw it twice in the theaters when it came out, but I was just blown away and I loved it. Loved every minute of it from start to finish when I first saw it.
Yeah, man, I feel the same way. I think it's probably the first midnight movie I ever saw.
Ooh,
And
nice.
so I saw it in Morgantown. I ran it at the mall, the Morgantown Mall movie theater.
Oh yeah.
And it was like packed. It was like super packed. Saw a couple of people I knew. Shout out to Greg Flynn. Saw Greg Flynn there.
Oh, what up, Greg? Greg
Yeah,
Effects.
man. Yeah, man. So I just remember just being fully captivated. And I still remember, the scene when the big rig flips over and
Oh my God.
like the hair on my arm stood up. And I remember it flipped and then I flipped. And then I looked at I looked at the time and I was like, there's still like over an hour left of this movie, yo. Like,
Right.
they're really gonna like give us everything. And because I remember people were wondering if they're gonna do like the whole Two-Face like in the movie or like say for the sequel, and they just went full Two-Face, man. And like
2 hours and 32 minutes.
yeah, man, it's a scene in a midnight movie. Like it was a gamble. It was a definite gamble, but it totally paid off. Like I remember even at the end when Harvey is doing the last coin flips to see like who lives and who dies. I remember like the strings and like everyone not knowing like, yo, is he really going to shoot this little kid? And it was like so captivating.
Yes.
And I remember I saw it with a person who like wasn't in the comic book movies at all. They weren't in like even action movies at all. But like she was a psych major, and it was like we were just talking about just the dynamics and the morality of the movie, and like everyone questioning like what is right and what is wrong, and it really felt like it was the first time when a comic book movie just was not a comic book movie. Like you were actually thinking about real life situations and would you blow the other boat up to save your life? Yeah, and it was really the first time where it was an actual psychological thriller, but people just happened to be wearing masks and clown makeup. Yeah, so on initial viewings, like it was a very, very special movie. Like I knew the moment it came out, like it was my favorite movie ever. Like that's how much I loved it.
Yes. It was like, even now, like I have the sound off and I'm just, my eyes are glued to it. And I know my opinions have changed, but I just love this movie so much. I love the way it's structured. And Christopher Nolan, of course, who has the pedigree of Memento and Inception and he didn't do Gravity, he did Interstellar.
Yeah.
I mean, he did Batman Begins and he did Dark Knight Rises, which we're not going to talk about. But
whoa, let's not slander Dark Knight Rises, buddy. Well, hold on. Let's keep it positive. Let's keep it on Dark Knight. Let's keep it positive.
I mean, I don't hate Dark Knight Rises. I don't hate Dark Knight Rises. Was it the ending that I had hoped for? No, but is it a good film and a watchable film? Yes, I want to say that.
All right. Well, we'll talk about Dark Knight Rises later, but let's because we're gonna get totally sidetracked if we do. But let's stick on this. So
Yeah, but Christopher Nolan did a great job on this film.
Yeah, man. And we're gonna actually, well, we can even talk about it now. But I wanted to definitely pick your brain on Nolan because other than Spielberg, Nolan is one of my favorite directors, and I think it's weird because I think in the moment people love Nolan, especially for this movie, but then over time he sort of waned in some people's eyes. But I think because I wanted to know if you think that looking back on the movie, like, do you think Nolan is overrated, underrated, or properly rated? Because I think in this movie he understands scale, and he understands like environments are characters in movies too. So when you see Batman basically hang gliding in Hong Kong, like he understands like we can keep everything dark, but the light of the city is going to make this thing feel mammoth. And he was had the genius idea of filming like all the action scenes in IMAX or IMAX cameras when no one was ever doing that. And I remember watching a documentary movie, and I believe at the time there were only like 4 IMAX cameras in existence, and during the film he broke one. So
oh damn.
Yeah, so I mean shit could have went left real bad. But he understands that like we even in the opening scene where we're seeing guys zip line from one building to another, we can do these large mammoth shots of what we're going to see as Gotham City, and then we can zoom in on these tiny bodies like zipping from one building to the other. And he really understood, like, I think he understood environment, and I think he understands how like characters should look, especially in these action scenes.
Yeah.
And I think his vision is, I think his ability to make things look beautiful and make things look big, I think that's actually kind of underrated. Now, when it gets to the characters in some of the movies, like I think that could be in a little bit of the overrated side, but I think his vision as director I think it's one of the best. Because did you ever see Dunkirk?
No, I've not seen Dunkirk yet.
I think Dunkirk is the best example of how Nolan is great, because it's basically a movie about this is like a World War II movie, but it's not from like it's from like this incident from like the British perspective. And I don't want to like spoil it for you, but you're following like a lot of action, like a lot of like
moving pieces.
Yeah, like a lot of moving pieces. And in the movie, there are no actual characters. I mean, there are characters, but there's no like real sort of like lengthy dialogue that you have to like really be concerned about. But you're really engrossed in the action and these people's survival from like incident to incident and battle to battle, so to speak. So I think Dunkirk really is sort of how Nolan understands what action is, and he understands how to film it. And Dark Knight really was sort of like the first marriage of both. Because even like I didn't even watch Batman Begins when it first came out. I didn't see it until like that Thanksgiving break or whatever.
Okay.
But I think he elevated the aesthetic of everything after, with Dark Knight. He elevated his own game with Dark Knight.
I'd say it's definitely peak Nolan. And I sound like Bill Simmons because I've been listening to a lot of Bill Simmons podcasts.
Apex Mountain.
Yeah, exactly. Apex Mountain. Is he? I don't think he's overrated. I'm never going to say that about Nolan. He made Memento, and Memento is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
I'm going to say he's properly rated. I think he gets a lot of crap. I think people take the Batman trilogy out on him unfairly, even though one of the movies was flawless when it was released.
Yeah.
I think some of his recent films, some people have went in with higher expectations than needed, and then came out with their feelings hurt. Not Dunkirk, but I'm thinking of Interstellar and things like that. Inception is a brilliant movie. Alone, didn't he do? What was the movie with the magicians? Am I thinking about the right? Yes,
Prestige.
Yes, Prestige. That's another great film that doesn't get enough credit. He's properly ranked. He's definitely one of the top 10 film directors out there doing it right now. And I think the fact that DC got him to do 3 superhero films is amazing because I mean he started filming Batman Begins, I guess, in 2004. It came out in 2005. The last one came out, Dark Knight Rises, came out in 2012. That's 7 years of his life that was on this trilogy with what he could squeeze in between. So I'd say that I think he's properly ranked and he deserves all the credit that he's gotten so far in his career.
Yeah, man. Because speaking of Apex Mountain, but this is a 3-year run for Nolan. In 2005, Batman Begins. 2006, Prestige. 2008, Dark Knight Rises. Like, that's
3 championships in 4 years. That's Warriors territory right there.
That is the Warriors territory, man. And with Inception, I thought Inception was great. But I think that's when people first started to get off of the Nolan trend a little bit because the story, I don't think the story is convoluted, in my opinion. I just think it's very complicated. And a lot of people just didn't really want to try, I guess. And so I watched a little bit of Inception the other night, and I still love it a lot. And I had weird dreams for like 2 weeks in a row when I first saw Inception. Like, but yeah, I think overall I agree. I think Nolan is properly rated. Like I said, I think there are things that from him are a little bit overrated, but I do think there's some things of stuff that are underrated too. So yeah, I think that this is definitely Apex Nolan. I mean, he gave us a movie a decade later that, like you said, like it has shaped, it has shaped Hollywood. Like, not a lot of people can really say that. Like, I love Spielberg, and he has moments where he's definitely shaped Hollywood. And even like someone like Ryan Coogler, like he's having a moment that could potentially shape Hollywood. And Dark Knight Rises, like that is a moment in time where we're going to look back, and especially because, like I said, I didn't watch the Batman Begins when it first came out because the Batman sequels were terrible. Like, I didn't like Batman and Robin. I didn't like Batman Forever. And like, I thought Batman Begins was going to be another joke, but he did a very, very strong movie. But then Dark Knight, it just hit it out the park.
Oh, 100%. Sidebar: Should Leonardo DiCaprio have been nominated for something for Inception? It's a toughie.
I'm leaning toward no, but hold on. So, what do you think he should have been?
No.
Yeah,
I think he was great in it.
Yeah, he was.
But I'm just wondering because we all know how Leo's Academy Award history is going.
Oh yeah.
How he got his pity one for the wrong movie and for The Revenant. The funny thing is,
Hardy should have gotten that. Hardy should have.
Everybody said Hardy was better than him in that movie.
I mean, shit. It's not a lie, man. It's totally not a lie. So, like, I mean, because that's not even. I think Inception overall is, a really, really good movie, but top 5 Leo movies. I mean, because I would take, in no order, I would take Wall Street. I would take Departed. I would take Catch Me If You Can. I would take Good with Great. I would take Titanic.
Yeah.
I would take Romeo and Juliet over his. I mean, Romeo and Juliet. That's a fucking phenomenal movie that
It is.
people shitted on back then, but we're so yeah. I think as far as Leo performances, it made me like number 6 or 7.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't think you should. Or,
No, I don't think he should have been nominated either. I just thought I'd throw it out there because you mentioned it or mentioned we're talking about Inception. And I was like, let me just throw that out there. And you can't forget about Django either. He was great in Django. No nomination for Django.
Yeah, I think he was definitely better in Django than Inception.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. All right. So for The Dark Knight, like I said, we agree that Nolan's place in history is properly rated. But let's stick with a little bit of because we talk about Leo. Let's stick a little bit of actors. I want to touch on this really quick. Katie Holmes not being in Dark Knight Rises. Like, I remember a lot of speculation, especially around the time, which, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's totally sexist, but people were saying Katie Holmes was too beautiful to be blown up in The Dark Knight Rises.
Oh wow!
You don't remember that? Like, that was a theory.
No, I didn't hear that. No, that's awful.
And just to be clear, it's a totally sexist theory that Marcus Robinson and Kellen Conley do not agree with.
No, man.
But yeah, man.
Wow. I always thought she didn't do it because that's when she was with Cruise, and I thought Scientology was keeping her out of movies, certain roles, and I literally thought it was because of her relationship with Tom Cruise why she didn't do the sequel.
Like, so she's never confirmed why she never did it. Like, it was a lot of like double talk basically. But and oh wait, she did a movie called Mad Money with Diane Keaton and Queen Latifah.
What?
Yes, I can't make this shit up, man. It cost like $22 million to make. It only made $26 million. The New York Post said it was the third worst movie of 2008.
Oh my God.
Yeah, man. So, like, there has to be some reason why Katie Holmes didn't do it. But, I mean, Maggie Gyllenhaal, she's a better actress than Katie Holmes, like, bar none.
Oh, 100%. And I actually had a small crush on Maggie Gyllenhaal probably around this era. Probably because of a little film called Secretary. I don't know if you ever watched it, but...
I have not. What is that about?
All right, well...
It's one of the Skinamax movies.
The premise is kind of Skinamaxy, but it's art house.
Okay.
So Maggie Gyllenhaal is a secretary to Ultron, better known as James Spader.
Yeah.
And literally, they have this. It's almost no, I'm not even going to put that in that category. They have this weird relationship where, work relationship that develops into real feelings, but it's very BDSM based.
I mean, I'm looking at the movie poster, and yeah,
it's a very sexual film. I saw it at a young age, and I was like, I like Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Hilarious.
And I just always had a crush on her. And then she ended up Dark Knight, and I was like, oh man, Maggie Gyllenhaal in a movie where she's not being a sexual object. I'm going to definitely check that out. Hey. And then I found out she could actually act.
Oh shit! God damn. I mean, well, this James Spader is the dom, and she's the sub.
Yes, dude. Yes.
That is a hell of a premise, man.
And I'll tell you what, though, I heard about this one, like, I ran across the internet when, like, in the early 2000s and heard of this movie. But then I watched it a few years ago again and actually watched the whole film. The movie is good. It's weird because obviously the content, and it's not something I'd be like, I have nothing to do. Let me watch Secretary. No. But if Secretary came on and I had the time and I had no Aaliyah around, I would definitely watch Secretary because that's a good film.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
All right, buddy.
But I'm just saying, though, that they definitely upgraded Katie Holmes to Gyllenhaal, because when I first saw Batman Begins, Katie Holmes was fine in the movie. I thought she was all right as Rachel, but the
Yeah.
whole time, like when I think Katie Holmes, I think Dawson's Creek, and
I I
that's
love
all I
Dawson's Creek.
see.
Yes.
I do too. Ed put me
Yes.
on to Dawson's Creek.
Well,
He had the
shout out to Big Money Ed though. Like,
I know, and guess who? And he just told me the other day that he's having a kid. So
holy
shout out to
shit.
him. Yeah, man.
Yes, man. Y'all not wrapping it up. I like that. Oh
Oh
man.
wow,
That was wild.
that was a hot ass take,
That
courtesy
was
of
a
Marcus Robinson.
that was a hot ass take, man. Nobody wrapping it up anymore, man. That's funny, man. Yo, okay, so staying on staying on the casting what ifs. Shout out to the rewatchables. Casting what if in 2005, Nolan actually approached Heath Ledger to be Batman.
Really?
Yes, he turned it
I did not
down.
know that. Like I listened to the Dark Knight rewatchables, and did they say that on that episode?
I don't think so. I was like
Okay, I didn't
searching for
because
this.
I would have thought I would remember that. That is
Now,
wow.
now, I think I think Joker is iconic because Heath Ledger is a really fucking great actor. Who I can't even imagine what this would be with him. Like, I think he's a better. Like, he definitely, God bless his soul. He was definitely a better actor than Christian Bale, in my opinion. So the thing is, though, if he plays Bruce Wayne and Begins, and who's going to be Joker though? Like that's a really big ass what if, man. Like, when I found that out, there's only two what ifs I will take to my grave. Like, what if Lynn Bias had not overdosed and he
Oh
was,
God.
and what if Ledger was Batman in the ends? Like,
Wow.
yeah, man, that's a hell of a ass. That's that's a really strong ass what if in Hollywood, man.
You know what, Marcus? I'm going to give you a hot ass take.
Okay.
I don't think Batman Begins works with Ledger as Bruce Wayne / Batman.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of leaning toward that, but well, tell me
I
why
know he
first.
has
Tell
the
me why.
chop. I know he has the chops.
Yeah.
I know he does. But I'm looking at Bale right now as Bruce Wayne. Like they're at the party and Matt and Rachel just went in to go in with Harvey and all this.
Yeah.
I'm looking at that role and I'm thinking about the scenes from the first movie and everything. I'm putting Heath Ledger, like not Joker Ledger, but just normal Heath Ledger
Yeah.
in his place.
Because you got to think that's around the time Brokeback Mountain, and
I
so
know.
he's like going into his apex then. So
Wow.
yeah, man.
God, I think the movie would be fun. I think they could get through Batman Begins, but I don't know if Ledger would have been able to carry the franchise. I think the movie would have been fine. I think people would have liked it, but he doesn't scream Bruce Wayne. Like the
Yeah.
Batman scenes, I think he would have totally killed.
Yeah.
I think he would have methoded his way into becoming the Dark Knight literally. And it would have been phenomenal for those scenes. But the scenes where when he had to be Bruce, while he has the looks, I just don't feel like he has the charisma to pull it off like Bale did. And I feel like he would do the one, and then we'd have a situation where he might not come back for the second one, and they are rebooting the series after the first one.
You know what? I agree. And you know what it is? Because even Bell, he had like American Psycho 5 years prior, and that was like a cult classic or whatever.
Oh yeah.
But he's not really like an American name like people are gonna really know. But Ledger, like I mean, he was a legend from 10 Things I Hate About You.
Oh,
So
classic.
yeah,
Classic.
so I think he had that, and he had like other like slower movies that people knew him from. But I do think I think Nolan did get it right um, getting Bale as Batman because it's a fresh face. It's not George Clooney or Val Kilmer trying to be Batman. It's it's this relatively young guy who doesn't have he doesn't have really anything. He has sort of a clean slate, and so it's really easy to build up on him. Whereas Heath Ledger, like he's dragging, not necessarily in a bad way, but he has a lot of movies behind him. So maybe that it kind of fucks up the expectations. Because like I said, I was no one. I think overall people were so sour on like Batman and Robin and Batman Forever that no one even initially gave Beginnings a chance for the most part. Batman
I went
Begins.
in with low expectations. I think that's why. I think that helped it do so well critically
Yeah.
because you're coming off of Batman and Robin and Batman Forever. Even though I for some reason still like Batman Forever. Um, I No one thought there would be a good Batman film despite the names attached to the film, and then when it turned out to be good, it was a pleasant surprise, and it just started making money.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, man. Like, because I remember I was on my friend's couch, like waiting for her to get off work, and Batman Begins just happened to be there, and I was bored as fuck, and so I said, "Fuck it, I'll just watch it."
mhm.
And I was mad that I never saw it in theaters. Like it was that good.
Yeah, I saw it in theaters, and
Yeah,
it was a hell of a ride, man. Like the difference between Begins and Dark Knight. Begins felt like a Batman superhero movie. Dark Knight does not feel like a superhero movie. It feels
it
like
doesn't.
a art noir. It feels like a noir film with superheroes in it.
Yeah, man. I think the reason that I love Batman so much and the genius of these films is I think Batman, more than like a lot of other comic book movies, we're actually invested in the villains a pretty significant deal. I mean, because the Joker is basically the mirror opposite of Batman.
Hmm.
So I think it's important that they really did build that foundation and begins of Batman on his own. But then Dark Knight comes out and Heath Ledger, the Joker, he's equally as important as Batman is in this movie. And it's equally important that you see how Harvey becomes Two-Face.
Hmm.
And you don't really get that sort of you don't get the satisfaction overall in the movie if they're just these plastic 2D people that 2D villains that you don't really care what their motives are. They just like do bad things and you want them to be stopped.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why we really sort of it's interesting to see Harvey's arc in this movie where we see he's an actual do-getter and we see that Batman does want to pass off the reins to him, but madness is like gravity; it just needs a push, and he becomes Two-Face and like completely vindictive and evil in a sense, and so yeah, like I think that Begins does lay the foundation. And you're right, Begins is definitely more the classic, origin story of the hero, where, the true villain, Ra's al Ghul, we only see him in certain pockets of the movie.
Right.
And, you get a little bit of Scarecrow in there, but, Batman is the important, it's Batman Begins, like he is the important vehicle of that movie. But the Dark Knight, Joker is maniac. He is, anarchist. Like, he is the driving force as to why Batman needs to rise to the occasion. And so you get the wildness of the Joker, but you get the base sanity and the levelness of Bruce Wayne and Batman. So it's a perfect marriage.
Yeah, I'm watching the movie. I'm sorry, I heard what you were saying, but he just saved Rachel from the building. Like Joker just threw out the window. But
Yeah.
I agree that Bale and Ledger were the perfect counterparts to each other, because without their two performances, if you take one of them out, the film doesn't work. It just doesn't. Like, and I'm glad to pause this because I'm really watching this movie like super hard. Um, and I was going to come on here and be like, oh, it doesn't hold up, but that's a complete lie. It still holds up.
It totally holds up, man.
It does hold up. But Ledger's Batman, I'm glad that's not what we got. I'm glad we got him as Joker, even though we ultimately lost him possibly because of the Joker.
Yeah, man. It's definitely sad. Like, people. I mean, people. It was ruled like a accidental overdose, and I hope it was. But I mean, at the same time, like, it's kind of chilling that this character is his last acting role, and but I think it's fitting. Tragic. As it is, I think it's fitting that he gave one of the greatest, performances of any sort of like antagonist and like American cinema history, just from this, one performance. And his legacy, it's great that his legacy just isn't this movie. Like I said, I love 10 Things I Hate About You, and people love Brokeback Mountain, and hell, like people even loved that Civil War movie he did with Mel Gibson.
Oh yeah,
yeah. First Night or something like that.
I was getting First Night.
The Patriots.
A lot of people love. Yeah, a lot of people love those movies too.
Yeah.
Random fact: he passed away on my 25th birthday.
No.
Yeah, he did. January 22nd.
Ah, damn. That's wild.
Yeah, man. I know. So me and Heath Ledger have this weird connection forever now.
Yeah, man. I mean,
these things happen.
Yeah, man. Life unfortunately is trash sometimes.
No, yeah. That's all Twitter is most of the time, is trash things. So
yeah, definitely. But,
every now and then I see the light, but most of the time Twitter is full of trash.
It is.
It really is. So, man, I'm gonna let you keep rolling with these questions because they're so good, and we haven't even really gotten to the Ledger's performance. I guess we're going to save that for Nicholson Ledger question. So,
yeah, man. Well, sure. I mean, if you want to get into it right now, we can get into it right now.
Okay, so the question on the table, according to your topics, is the better Joker, Heath Ledger or Jack Nicholson? I'll let you take that one first, Marcus.
Okay, so one of the first movies ever that was my favorite movie ever was the OG Batman.
89 Batman.
I had the VHS. I still remember the Coke commercial with the Batmobile whizzing home to Alfred to get some Coke. Well, Coca-Cola, not cocaine. But yeah, I think to this day I still remember that movie basically verbatim.
Yeah.
And
shot for shot.
Yeah, and the Batman soundtrack, Prince made, like, that's still phenomenal.
Bat Day. I listened to that. What's that one song? Something about the Rings of Saturn or something. I love that song.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's the right title, but it's definitely on the iPod getting play every now and then.
Yeah. So yeah, like I think everything is just that entire movie is just all encompassing. And I think I mean we're going back, like I said, like the Joker is a perfect mirror of the Batman, and the zaniness and the psychoticness of Jack Nicholson, he definitely mirrored the broody, depression that Michael Keaton had as Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Jack was phenomenal. But I think Ledger just took it to another level. Like, and I think it's genius that he played it. He played it more of the Killing Joke style than like the Jack Nicholson style.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to go with Ledger on this one. I think Ledger was just unstoppable in this movie.
Right after Dark Knight came out, it was no question I was going to say Ledger, and to this day, I'll still say Ledger is the better Joker. Like you said, it's definitely the nuance that that he played Joker with, the style, the the whole ticks with the licking of the lips and the swallowing and the way he walked and just everything about his character embodied who we always thought the Joker to be from the Batman comics. When we had the best version of Joker in the comic books, that's what Heath Ledger brought to the screen in The Dark Knight. With that said, though, I don't want to take anything away from Jack's performance. Just like you, Jack did a great job considering he was going off of the Cesar Romero performances from the Adam West series, and then
Yeah.
going for the more comical stuff of the more goofier Batman stuff. But at the same time, when he got serious in that first film, I felt fear as a child, and when I
Yeah.
watch it now, I still feel that same fear coming from that character. It's like, yeah, it's all goofy and smiles, and I'm trying to sell toys and get this merchandise cut that I signed, but at the same time, he played a hell of a Joker too, and it's just like it's the same thing with comparing NBA talent to different eras. Of course, it's two different films, two different time spaces. They each stand alone on their own, but if you have to seriously put them up against each other, you got to put Ledger above. Um, got to put the Ledger above Nicholson. I have to agree.
Yeah, man. And I think it is, like you said, like Jack was throwing it back to like, the Adam West, that era of where, even look at his, like, his costume, like he's flamboyant. He has like, the lime green hair. He has the flower that shoots the acid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like it was definitely, I mean, coming out the 80s into the 90s, I mean, even though that movie is pretty dark, like that was still sort of like a brighter time anyway.
Oh
So
yeah.
it fit the era of just the aesthetic of like the 80s. But it is interesting how, like post 9/11, like this Joker, like he couldn't have been taken seriously.
Right.
Like he had to be we're going to question all morals, and I'm going to make you question your morals even though they're right. I'm still going to make you question your morals. I'm going to be about no rules. I'm going to be about just complete mayhem. And so I think both Jokers were a reflection of the time in a sense. And so that's why they had to be different. I mean, the 80s and everything after 9/11, like those, I mean, that's like night and day the difference. So yeah, I think that they really sort of played into the time, and I think that they really maximized the Joker characters in like the best opposite way. So I don't think they're, I mean, fucking Jared Leto tried, and he had like thug
I
life
finally watched
tattoos
Suicide
on.
Squad and I saw most of the Joker parts and I was like, what the fuck is this shit? I
Yeah,
hated it.
I knew it was
I
gonna be.
hated it.
I knew it was. I didn't even watch it. I knew it was gonna be terrible when he had grills and a fucking Thug Life tattoo. Like
Yeah,
no, like absolutely not.
that's not how any of this works.
Yeah, man.
Like it's pretty bad when I thought Margot Robbie actually was really good as Harley, and to have a strong Harley like that finally on screen, and to one put her in a movie like Suicide Squad, and then two put her beside a whack ass Joker, just such disrespect to her character and all the work she put into it.
Yeah. I mean, because she's getting her own movie. She's
I
getting her own.
know.
Yeah. So I mean,
I'm
I.
excited to see where that goes, but it's DC, so bated breath.
Oh yeah. So, I mean, they. I mean, they handle Wonder Woman very well. They're actually filming. They were filming parts of the new Wonder Woman in DC like a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, yeah, I saw some
Um,
photos.
yeah, so I mean, I think if they take the same sort of realm where they're letting women actually like captain the ship, I think it could work. But I mean, it's still
Didn't
DC.
Pat Jenkins do the first one?
Wonder Woman, yeah.
Yeah, and she's on the second one too, right?
To the best of my knowledge, she is. I hope she
Okay,
is.
good. I thought so too.
Yeah,
Can't
I'm
mess up that
looking
formula. That's the only thing that's really working for DC right now. Um,
at.
random Batman fact, 89 Batman fact. Oh, and another point I wanted to say: a lot of friends of mine that are older than me, like say in their late 40s, early 50s, have always said that their major superhero on film moment was seeing Christopher Reeve fly in '77's Superman.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like a major moment for our age, for our era, was seeing Michael Keaton as Batman in Batman '89.
Yes.
Yeah, so I always feel like not only did that revitalize the superhero movies for the early '90s until ultimately Batman killed the franchise, the genre again, but it also just opened up a whole new world of kids to the medium of superheroes as well, and I thought that was extremely important. And I think Batman Begins did the same thing in 2005, and definitely Dark Knight had the same effect 3 years later, even a bigger effect. Because as much as I say this is a great film, that merchandise was flying out the door, and
Yeah.
it was. And this film is
Definitely.
dark. Like I can't imagine taking a kid to see this movie,
Yeah.
but
I
there
mean, and
was.
that was a sort of debate too. Like, I mean, it just it wasn't family friendly.
No,
Like it wasn't like, oh, we're gonna stop this bomb from blowing up and everyone's gonna be super happy. Like you left that movie like questioning humanity.
yeah,
Like a lot of kids,
everybody turned on Batman, thinking
yeah,
that he killed Harvey Dent.
yeah,
I mean, that's what Batman wanted, but still,
yeah.
it it I just had this another thought. With the popularity of R-rated superhero films, thanks to Deadpool and Logan, what if we got what if we got an R-rated Nolan verse Batman film? How do you think that would have fared? Do you think it would have been too much, or you think it would have worked?
Um, I
Like
mean,
not so much. Let's do it this year, but if they were able to finish it off with an R rating for Rises, possibly.
well, I don't know if you noticed, but Joker killed a lot of black people in this movie.
Yes, he did. I just saw him do it.
And I think there's six black people in the entire movie, and the only black man that lives is Morgan Freeman,
Freeman. Hmm.
and everyone else is basically killed by the Joker. And he kills them in these different, varied ways. But the thing about this movie is you don't really see blood. Actually, you don't see blood at
Yep.
all in this movie. So, like, whenever he shoots that cop with the sawed-off shotgun, like in an R-rated film, you probably see the guy get blown, the fuck back or whatever.
Hmm.
Um, I think that because the funny thing is Nolan doesn't even. I think that's sort of a thing with Nolan. He doesn't do gore,
No, he doesn't.
so I think with him, I don't know. I think he wouldn't have been. I guess I don't know if he even would have really been comfortable with even doing gore or R-rated like Batman film. So I think that let's say DC pushes it to be like like the Logan, and he just steps away from it, and I think you have a completely different movie after that.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, the funny thing is like if you just put blood in the movie, it probably becomes R-rated. So like
They might have
whenever,
had to trim some of it down, honestly, to get it to PG-13 because so much is going on.
yeah, and so if let's say whenever he kills Gamble, like you don't even like what does he even really do? Does he how does he even kill Gamble? You just see Michael Jai White just like kill over, and
Right.
he's like he could have just like cut his cheek. Like did he cut a main artery in his cheekbone? Like
We don't know.
so yeah. So but let's say if you just show the Joker like basically slitting his throat and you see the guy like I said, like getting his chest blown away, like that becomes immediately R rated. And then if it's R rated, that probably steers away the actual. It could even like deter people from watching a movie because it's PG. I mean, we'll be real. Like no movie theater, if it's PG, they're actually calling little kids or whatever. So virtually everyone can go see the PG-13 movie. But if it's R rated, and that's when kids can't cut school to watch the movie. Well, I mean it
Yeah.
was a summer, but um, so yeah, I mean if it's rated R, like I think it could have a lot of sort of unforeseen circumstances, and I think even though there's some moments that you could use the rated R-ness, I think it's fine just with it just being a PG movie.
Yeah, I think so too. Like I said, it was just a random thought that I came up with.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, my other Batman fact before we go ahead. Did you know that Prince dated Kim Basinger?
I feel like I heard that, but I forgot honestly. So
I did not know that until a few years ago. And there actually is a song on from the Batman soundtrack, um, "Scandalous."
oh, I
It's a
love
it's a
Scandalous.
it's a dope ballad. But
Yeah.
when Prince put out the single, he put out like a 4-song single. One of the singles on there is called "Scandalous Sex Suite," and it features live sex that he was having with Kim Basinger in the booth on this song.
Jesus Christ.
I know, live noises from her. And then that also led to them having a relationship, of course. He actually produced an album for her, which you can hear on YouTube,
Ooh.
that's produced entirely by Prince.
Ooh.
And then they had some ugly breakup, and that was that. They were like done like not even 6 months after he wrapped the soundtrack.
I mean,
All thanks to Batman.
shit. I mean, Prince gave like Apollonia a career. He tried. Oh, I do remember that. Yes, I remember. I remember this shit now. But I
Yeah.
mean, it's Kim fucking Basinger. Like what? Can she? Like no one wants to hear music from her. Like come on now, Prince.
No.
Prince really tried to work miracles with that. That's fucking funny.
I actually listened to one of the songs and I got like halfway through it. I was like, yeah, this ain't for me. She can't
Oh
sing.
man. Oh no.
Prince tried though.
You're a better man than I am. I wouldn't have listened to that shit at all.
I was bored one day. So back to the movie.
All right,
Your
man.
girl Rachel Dawes, she just was talking to Bruce, and this is after Gordon got killed and everything. And they're at Bruce's his condo, his apartment, since Wayne Manor got blown up in the
Yeah.
previous movie.
Dirty
And like,
Mackin.
yeah. And she's just like making out with him and giving him all this hope and stuff. Like she led him on so badly. I mean, I know that she went to Alfred and told her her real feelings and gave him the letter about I choose Harvey over you, Bruce. But like this whole movie, it's been like her and Harvey, and then all of a sudden, first time her and Bruce get alone, Bruce is like slobbing her down. I'm like, damn.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I
Now she's saying
mean,
goodbye to Alfred. Oh goodness. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah, I mean it's a tour triangle with with one person not being honest about their feelings. So the fun I don't know if she really led Bruce on, but it's like if you're not telling them the truth, I mean that is in a sense just leading them on. And
Yeah.
I mean she knew that because even when I mean, not even one, like the entire movie, she knew that um, she wanted to be with Harvey and that he wanted to marry her and she was considering it. And so even when she knew that, when she wrote that letter and, when, you know, Bruce was like making out with her, when she said they're not going to let us be together, she really should have said, I'm not going to be with you. I'm going to be with Harvey. And so, yeah, I mean, I think she definitely has some responsibility in being honest with him
Yeah.
because, I mean, if we're being real about Bruce, like, this is a guy who, in this movie especially, like, he never works out his feelings. Like,
No.
he never worked out the trauma with his parents dying. Like, he never addressed that. He sort of clung to this woman who they weren't even in a relationship. He basically clung on to the idea of their relationship. And I never noticed this how they joke in the movie about him not being well adjusted. Like
Yeah.
in the beginning when he's fighting like Scarecrow and he's like, I don't need help. And Scarecrow with a brilliant line, not in my diagnosis. And then at the party, when Harvey's talking to Alfred, and he's like, any psychotic ex boyfriends I should know about? And Alfred's like, oh, you have no idea. Like,
Right.
it's jokes, but
It's
he is
serious.
he is a person who's not dealt with this grave depression of his parents getting killed
Hmm.
and being, the sense of abandonment that he's had and his disdain for, humanity in a certain way. So yeah, I mean, I think she should have at least, been honest with him and told him the truth. But I mean, this is a guy who needs a lot more than her. So,
Yeah.
so yeah.
And can I just say that the one selfish thing that we really saw Bruce do in this movie was when Joker told him where they were located. It was Harvey and her. He was
Yeah.
going to go get her, but Joker
Yeah.
had flipped the locations. And Bruce was so mad when he realized. I mean, obviously he knew what was going to happen at that point. That he
Yeah.
had said that he was a Harvey. The one selfish thing he did the whole movie ultimately blew up in his face.
Just literally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, oh man, like,
that scene's always so tough because I mean, obviously, I mean when I first watched it, and he's like, "Oh well, she's here and he's there," I was like, "Oh, he's going to go with Rachel for sure."
yeah.
So I'm literally expecting him to roll up on Rachel and something to happen to Harvey, and that's how he gets Two Face. But then when he doesn't get to save her, man, it's it's a tragedy that I wish. Um, well, not that I wish, but it's something that, as far as Bruce's love life in the comic books, it's something that has never been there. That felt very Peter Parker-esque to me, because
Yeah.
obviously Spider-Man lost his girlfriend Gwen Stacy, the Green Goblin. But it was just such a tragedy to see him ultimately be foiled by his greatest foe just by simply switching the location. And then the thing was, like, I don't like he told Gordon he was going one direction. Like, I don't know what if he had reversed it, if he had been selfless and went for Harvey, like could the Gotham PD have gotten to Rachel in time? I don't know. Like did he make the mistake because he thought he could do it on his own and wanted to go save her? It's definitely a big what if for me in the film, and it really shapes the rest of the movie and the final film too. His decision and his grief over that decision, I think.
Yeah, because I don't think anyone in the theater expected her to blow up, man. Like, because
No.
I still remember when she's talking and all of a sudden the light flashes and her hair goes and it's like, holy fuck, she's blown the fuck up.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, man, it's Nolan 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 knew what the fuck to do, man. Like he knew how to break Harvey. I mean, and ultimately, I mean, it did break Batman in a sense. Like, I mean, the only person he has in his life is Alfred, and so, I mean, I love Alfred, but the love that you have of a woman or the love you have of your actual parents, like, I mean, Alfred is basically his caretaker and his best friend, but
Yeah.
it's not going to replace that type of love. So yeah, it was like you really felt it when like the Joker was swinging in the police cars, and then you see like Batman standing on top of the rubble,
Mm-hmm.
and like it's like it's so wild. Like just seeing the Joker just swang,
The Joker triumph.
like, yeah, and so it's like holy shit! Like this movie is not going to give you the cookie cutter just sort of ending. Like we're gonna blow up love interests as main characters, and so yeah, man, like you're right. It definitely was a moment that was very tragic, and I was definitely shocked when it happened.
Yeah. Um. Before we get back into the topics, I know I keep sidetracking things, but can we? What were your thoughts on Aaron Eckhart's performance as Harvey Dent / Two Face, and Gary Oldman as Jim Gordon?
Well,
Michael Caine already know was impeccable. He was a great Alfred. I had no problems with that until
yeah.
he left Bruce in the third one. He's like, I can't take this anymore. I'm leaving, Master Bruce. And I was like, oh fuck that, Alfred. Even though he does do that in the comic books every now and then, I didn't enjoy that in the third one. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, well, Gary Oldman was kind of a jerk off, so we don't need to talk about him very much. But he was good in the movies.
Yeah.
Oh, yo, I was telling Danielle this last night. Couldn't couldn't Gordon just leave a note for his wife, like, "Hey, I'm not really dead. Just play along, wink,
Oh my
wink."
god.
Like,
Yeah.
yo, do you remember? You grew up watching Martin, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember when Bra Man borrowed Martin's CD player, and at the end of the episode, he was like, "I left the note up in the bathroom sink." Gordon could have did that for her. Like he could have left a random
I
post-it on
know, man.
in her underwear drawer. Like, look, I ain't really dead. Don't cry, all right? Like he let his wife and kids think his ass was dead. Like
Yeah.
that
He
was
really
fucking
did.
terrible.
And that would be one of the flaws that I have with the movie is because like I understand they kind of did it to draw the Joker out, air quotes,
Yeah.
to set up this meeting for Batman to take him down, and it worked. Actually, him and Joker are facing off right now. He wants Batman to run him over, and poor Bruce can't do it, so he skids off in the Bat Pod. Um, I just felt like really like how did nobody know this? Like Bruce knew it, right? Like Bruce is like the only one.
Um
I don't
I
even know if Bruce knew it.
I don't think Bruce knew it. I think he just faked his death. And he couldn't tell anyone on like his squad because he knew that he had dirty people in his unit. So he didn't
Right.
he um Oh my god, he legit just faked his death, just just to only
I
get like to play in the Joker's hand. So
I think Bruce knew it because Joker was getting ready to shoot Bruce, and then Commissioner Gordon just rolled up on him and was like, he just let Harvey out. He's like, "We got him," and now Harvey's at the press conference or whatever. He's like, "Yeah, I'm not Batman. Blah blah blah. I'm gonna go get blown up now." So
nah, nah, I don't think he knew because he wouldn't have been at whenever they tell Gordon's wife he's dead. He wouldn't have looked sad then.
that's true. He looked real sad.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't.
Because one of the reasons, besides the fact that Joker called him out to reveal who he was, like one of the reasons he shut down like the backup Batcave was because he was planning on not being Batman for a while because of Gordon's death.
Uh, yeah, yeah, that's why. Like he was going to give up being Batman because he saw Gordon get killed, and he was like he couldn't stand by seeing more other people get killed, and then that's why. I mean, because you see it, like he is about to turn himself in, but then Harvey, he just says, "I'm the Batman," in
Right.
hopes to smoke out the Joker. But then at the end, Harvey he's surprised when Gordon's alive. So
Yeah.
it's a
Harvey had
weird,
no idea.
like that's a big ass. I mean,
That's a lot of random parts coming together to make a conclusion like catching the Joker.
yeah, man, like
Oh, and
Gordon
he
just
just went home to see his wife. He's walking in the door now. He's like, "I'm sorry, I couldn't say." She slaps him. She like taps him though.
she should have divorced this dumbass. Like,
No kidding, man.
like imagine just going home. Oh yeah, I'm not dead no more. Like, my bad. Imagine if
Whoops.
Gordon just saying my bad to his wife.
Now he's walking up on his kid. He's like, "Guess what, little Timmy? It was all a bad dream. Your daddy's here."
Man, that's some traumatic shit for your ass, man. I think of. Remember how early I was saying there's some stuff that Nolan wrote that's kind of iffy.
Yeah.
That is definitely something that's very iffy.
Mm-hmm.
My man he faked his death and just wore a SWAT mask for like 3 days in a row. So
Pretty much. Where did he go? That's what I want to know.
he
Like
hung
where
out.
he just
He
hang out
was
in Gotham City Hotel.
he was
Like,
like Death Becomes Her. He just hung out in the morgue
oh my
until
God, he might
until
have.
it's until it's time to reemerge. So
Wow.
yeah, man. So we definitely were talking a lot about this movie.
Yeah.
And so we did touch a little bit about some of the missteps, especially with the Gordon plot line or whatever. Do you? Oh, I don't think we ever answered. As far as Two Face, do I
Mm-hmm.
think that he was a good Two Face? I think he was. I think the incline of his apex when he's like the goody two shoes. Well, not goody two shoes, but he's someone that wants to be an actual do gooder. I think he actually played that pretty well. And I think the scene in the courtroom that you're talking about earlier, I think he pulled it off like fairly well. And like Harvey Dent has to be that type of person that, he wants to stand up for justice, even if it's sort of in a naive sort of way. And I think he put it off very well.
Yeah.
I think it's Two Face, the final scene, like your actor has to pull off that final scene where he's like, we thought that we could be decent men in decent time. And I was on the edge of my seat that entire scene. And so he's a third of that reason. Like you really don't know. There's no tells. Like he acted phenomenally in that scene. And so I think he pulls off Two Face pretty greatly.
I thought he pulled off both roles really well too. Um, the CGI that they used on his face to get the Two-Face look, it was definitely a frightening take because I guess the iconic take when it comes to Two-Face would be the animated series look of like the the Sylvester Stallone lip on the burn side or whatever, and the blue face.
Stallone lip.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
I do, man.
And like even like the earlier Batman appearances, like he was always kind of all over the place, but this was definitely a unique take on the character as far as the look, and then the whole idea of where he's coming from, because obviously he's two-faced. He has two minds essentially. He has the good side, the bad side, the good side of coin, the bad side of coin. Always can't decide. Ultimately, Joker gave him the decision in the hospital. He's like, "Look, you can either kill me and be happy, whatever, get your revenge, or you can go get revenge on the people who put you here, including the Batman, including Gordon, and just kind of embrace just everything that you work for. You're going to live long enough to become the bad guy, essentially, and just go forward and just wreck mayhem." And that's exactly what Harvey did. Like Harvey was the Punisher for the last 40 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
But on the I keep on calling him by his actor name, Aaron Eckhart. On the Harvey side, though, I did think he played Harvey Dent very well. I thought he might have been a little too suave at times, but maybe that's just because he already had Rachel in tow and everything, and we didn't get to see any of their courtship. She was already with him like from the jump. I thought he played that as well, played that character very well, and I'm not going to say he's irreplaceable, but he's definitely a big cog of this movie too. Because, like you said, if he didn't have the gravitas to deliver the Two-Face parts at the end, then the Harvey parts wouldn't even mattered.
Yeah, and I think it's more. I mean, because you have to think of the character. Like he has, the woman. He knows a woman he wants to spend the rest of his life with, and he's fighting the mob. So, and like he has to have a certain arrogance about him. Not even necessarily arrogance, but just confidence about who he is as just the DA of Gotham City, and I think he fully exuded that, especially at the dinner table scene where he's Bruce Wayne tried to pull his dick out on the table. He pulled that shit right back out. Like, I'm right here.
Yeah, he did.
I'm with your woman right here, dog. So yeah.
Yes, he did.
I think he handled that very well. And some other internet research, apparently, I know you said the face was definitely gruesome. I thought that they weren't even going to show the face originally, because you know how in the movie they do like the tease and then they cut away and then they show Gordon's reaction, but then 10 seconds later they show his whole face. I wasn't ready to see his face, man. That shit was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But apparently there were makeups of the Two-Face face that were worse, that were more gruesome.
Oh my God.
And I kind of want to see that.
I'd love to see those too.
It has to be scary as fuck, but I would love to see what was worse than fucking that, yo.
Yeah, because I got every time I look at that thing, you want to look away from it because it's serious, straight up, worst case scenario burn victim. Is what it is.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, man. So
where are we at on these topics, man?
All right, so we discussed as far as characters, we discussed Maggie Gyllenhaal, we discussed Christian Bale, Heath Ledger, Aaron Eckhart, the fuckface Gary Oldman, the beautiful Michael Caine.
Yes.
All these actors, like I said before, Nolan figured it out, and he has his band of characters that acted supremely well in the movie. We talked a little bit about kind of the mistakes in the movie as far as the stuff with Gordon. Now, fast forwarding it to now, I know you say you rewatched it now, you rewatched it, a little while ago also. How do you think the movie has aged, and are the mistakes that you didn't notice in your first viewing, are they more apparent now, or are the mistakes so nil that the movies age very well for you anyway?
Um, I think the mistakes are pretty minimal. Like
Yeah,
my eye is more trained to look for dumb shit out of more than I was like 10 years ago, especially. Um,
yeah,
just like dumb things I see throughout the movie. Um, and I do that for fun sometimes too, because sometimes just ain't in something I'm watching. I'm like, I'm just gonna look for dumb shit. And so every now and then I'll see something like there was at the beginning of the movie it was Harvey and Batman and Gordon on top of the roof and they had like the 360 camera on them. Like
yeah.
Bale is in the costume. He can't lift his neck up and like he's not really moving. So it just kind of looks like they're standing next to this life-size
Statue.
weirdo in a bat. The life-size weirdo dressed as a bat while they're having this conversation. Like he said a couple things when he had his close-ups, but like as
Yeah,
they're doing that 360 thing, I'm like, he looks so out of place there. He looks like he's the weird guy. They like come to the hang out with the cool kids for a few minutes or something. I don't know. Um,
yeah,
but seriously, like I've been looking at this since we started. I can't take my eyes off of it. It's it's a beautiful film. It holds up 10 years later. I can't say there's anything other than that's the Gordon thing,
yeah,
faking his death. I can't see anything that is wrong with this movie at all. And of course, we have the foreshadowing, um, the whole thing with Bruce listening in on people's devices and everything, and kind of making the sonar to figure out where things are. Not only is that like foreshadowing to one of the biggest fears in America, so to speak, that
yeah,
we can be heard anytime through our cellular devices. Um, but on top of that, the sonar is something that they developed into something they used in the Arkham games a lot because you
yeah.
literally use sonar to kind of figure out where people are on the map and stuff, so you don't just fall into the trap and everything. So even it was ahead of its time even for that. So it's aged very well. It holds up and like I'm like it still is one of the greatest superhero movies I've ever watched easily.
Yeah, man. I think it's aged like wine, man. Like I think that the flaws are very minimal. I think that the actors' performances all still hold up well. Um, yeah, man. I mirror the same thing you said, so I don't need to get too much into it. But yeah, I think everything is aged phenomenally well. And I would shit if there were
Damn,
uh
there
if
goes Rachel.
oh she got blown up.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that shit was wild. And yeah, man, I still remember like that feeling of damn, they really blew her out the fucking frame.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But yeah, like I said, like I think the movie has aged extremely well, and you know nothing is so far. Nothing's going to change that for me. So I think,
No.
yeah, I would love to see it in the theater again. If like the Draft House out here shows it again, I would definitely go to
Oh,
that.
that would be dope.
It's the funny thing is like I'm surprised. Like, I mean, this is how I
And
guess
there goes
inept.
Joker swagging on him. Sorry.
I guess the show sort of how inept DC is. Like, why wouldn't they do like a 10-year anniversary national release of the movie? Like,
They
just
want us
like
to
a.
forget.
I mean, probably, but like, even if it did, like, just we're gonna show it every day for the anniversary week, and just come whenever. Like, that would be better reviews than their new shit now. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but yeah. So
They're so focused on their air quotes future that they're not willing to respect this monumental piece of cinema that they have in their catalog. Um,
definitely,
and I honestly I haven't seen a whole lot about any. I'm sure like as we get closer to the 18th, something we'll see some pieces come out about it 10 years about the Dark Knight and everything. But I kind of think that that people, not that people forgot, but I feel like people have, without going back and revisiting it like we are, I feel like people are kind of writing it off as it hasn't aged well, and they're incredibly wrong.
They are. And so, segueing into off of that idea, which is actual a very valid idea, do you think that The Dark Knight Rises and the full scope of the movie, and not only just this movie, but with all basically superhero movies now, do you think that Dark Knight Rises is overrated, underrated, or properly rated?
So Dark Knight Rises by itself, or the whole trilogy, or
No, just The Dark Knight.
just Dark Knight? Underrated. Because for the first couple years after it came out, everybody's like, "Oh, Dark Knight, Dark Knight, Dark Knight, Dark Knight," and now nobody talks about Dark Knight like that because of maybe it's superhero fatigue, maybe it's because they rebooted it. But I feel like for a while it was properly rated, and now it's definitely underrated again. Like I really feel like this will be a movie that people will discover for years to come and be blown away just like I was 10 years ago.
Yeah, you know what it is? I think you're right. And I think it's underrated because fucking Marvel. Like Marvel does it again, but because if you think about think about Iron Man 3 and when we talked about Iron Man 3 and how that was actually the best Tony Stark's performance in any of the MCU movies.
Episode 61, yep.
But overall, that movie is a good movie, but in the full scope of the MCU, it's probably like a mid-tier movie, right?
Yeah.
The reason that we can go revisit it is because Marvel has ingrained all these movies so well together that you need to go back to look at these shits. And you need to see the OG Iron Man. Like, you need to remember what that was about. Like, you need, like, even a movie like Dark World, when overall people sort of say it's just an average movie, but you have Thor Ragnarok that basically revitalized the entire trilogy. And so it forced people to go back to revisit the actual original Thor and revisit Dark World. DC just isn't doing that.
I actually went back and finally rewatched Age of Ultron. It had been years since I watched it, and it was a lot better than I remembered it. Especially because all the pieces matter.
All the pieces matter, man. Shout to The Wire. But the funny thing is, because I remember hearing people say Ultron wasn't good. I ended up seeing Ultron after the release, and so after like everything died down. Right. And I was really confused as to why people didn't like it as much as I did.
When I saw it in the theater, I had issues. There was like literal film issues where that kind of affected it for me, and we had to complain everything, and it was a big deal. I got through. Oh man, they just showed Two-Face. Totally threw me off because I wasn't looking, and I looked up. But for me, like the thing is, like with Avengers, it's like hey, here's Iron Man, here's Captain America, here's Hulk. Look at all these pieces. Oh, look, they're fighting, and the whole story felt like very origin-y, and the origin worked very well. But then in the second one, and I think for me personally, on top of the film issues I was having, you're like thrown right into the middle of the action when they're trying to track down the Tesseract, and it's like you get there, and then the movie never really pauses for you to get your bearings about anything. There's and I think Ultron might be one of the first films that I remember really being like in the middle of something, because like I remember like Thor 1, they started out fighting frost giants, I think, but at the same time, it was kind of like there was a small build
Yeah.
up to the Frost Giants. Like we literally were thrust in the middle of this battle, and then like I because of the film issues, and then I just had trouble wrapping my head around the whole concept of the film. But when I sat down and watched it a few weekends ago, I was highly impressed with the whole thing. And I missed so much stuff that I knew of because I went back and read about it. And of course, other films filled in blanks for me. But Age of Ultron is a good film. It's not the Avengers, it's not the crown jewel of the phase one that Avengers was. But at the same time, it's a highly important film in this whole saga, this MCU that just gets shit on for no reason. So if I ever say anything about Age of Ultron before, I take it back. It's a damn good film.
Yeah, and I think it's a damn good film too. And Marvel is, I don't think they really knew the long game. I think they knew the long game, but I don't think they really knew that this would be such a gargantuan thing of American pop culture.
Yeah.
But they still, at least, even if they didn't know it, and if they just caught up, they still were smart enough to like interweave these movies and moving pieces all together. When DC, they basically just gave the Dark Knight trilogy basically like a graphic novel treatment. And then they just kept pumping out, Justice League movies that are completely inferior and completely different from Nolan's vision. And if they were smart, they should have just gave Nolan the reins just to do a Robin movie, just to see where Robin can go. And then, like even they even should have gave like even a Batman Beyond, like something just original.
Yeah.
Like something just, something that was worthwhile at least trying. Because this shit, I mean, like it's not good. Like, because I think they're trying to bank on Aquaman to do what Ant-Man did, just to be funny, and then try to. We hope that the funny and the action is good enough to reel you in, but no one wants to see Aquaman movie because one, this guy, he's just not a good actor. Like they do this, he's not a good actor. But Paul Rudd is a guy that he's a funny guy. He has dry humor. And so you can at least bank on the money being halfway funny. But this movie, it's like he's just going to basically just look sexy for a woman, and big things are going to blow up. Like that's the only thing you're going to get from Aquaman.
Yeah.
So DC doesn't do anything to incorporate the Nolan trilogy into the forefront of people's minds. And so I think they're going to be people, like us who take it upon themselves to do oral histories or to do essays or blog posts about it. But DC should have done something. And it's a week from the anniversary and they haven't done anything. And that's completely sad. Like they completely, they could have even did like a memorial of like Heath Ledger. I mean, they could have done a lot of things for this movie to commemorate it, and they just totally didn't. And they just aren't intelligent enough, from what I'm seeing, to where they know how to really capitalize off what momentum they can potentially build, and what people actually want. So they just aren't with it. Like they just don't have what Marvel has, to where even in the logo, like so Ant-Man 2, in their logo is Marvel Studios 10. Like they are fully celebrating their 10 years of these now
great
20
films.
movies. Yeah. But like I said, like DC treated Nolan like he was just a graphic novel guy. Do this little thing on your own, but we're going to keep this comic shit going, which is going to be completely different from what you've done. and we're still going to just make money because people are still going to go see it. So yeah, so I don't really see them, really changing that down the line.
Um, I know that I'm looking at the credits, and I know that Nolan was involved with producing Man of Steel. And at one point, I'm not going to do too deep of a dive on Wikipedia, but I thought he was involved with writing some of it. But ultimately, it's the story. Oh, I'm sorry. He was involved with writing some of Man of Steel because David Goyer did the screenplay, and the story was by Goyer and Christopher Nolan. So I think they had, when they decided to do the DCEU, I think they were planning on trying to branch off of these movies and continue the Nolan verse a little bit. But I don't know whether it was the critical response to Man of Steel or the fact I kind of recall something along the lines of Bale saying that he didn't want to be Batman anymore. I don't know whether Bale was completely out in the character and wasn't interested in reprising his Batman role in a extended universe kind of thing. But I feel like they had started to take steps. But then at some point, Nolan and DC's relationship went sour. And then Nolan stepped out completely. And then that's when I'm pretty sure he's completely all the way out by the time he got Batman v Superman. Mm. So I wonder if there's some kind of relationship that went sour along the way, or if it literally was, I want to get out of superheroes after the Man of Steel supposed debacle. Because I know people that will defend Man of Steel and they love Man of Steel, and then there's other people who are just kind of, they're just meh about Man of Steel. So.
Yeah. I mean, because even Nolan teased, Robin at the end of Dark Knight Rises, but nothing ever
totally
came of that.
Done that. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, are you serious? Like, and he was totally, like, it was a good role for him in Dark Knight Rises. Like, it wasn't like obviously it was way different than Chris O'Donnell's portrayal, but it was like, it was just enough where it's like, I'd like to see more of this guy. Oh, he has the keys to the Batcave. Not to mention that I am a fan of the Robin character, so I would have been fine if we had gotten some kind of spinoff. But for things to just stop there, I was really disappointed.
Yeah, man. I mean, it could be a situation with like Jon Favreau and Iron Man 3, where Favreau wanted to direct Avengers and he wanted that bread, and Marvel just wasn't with it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a situation like that. I mean, at some point, people got to know your worth, and that Dark Knight trilogy, like, even beyond, the reviews of Dark Knight Rises and how some people were kind of disappointed in that, the Dark Knight trilogy, that should have earned him equity to write a blank check at DC.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, it just didn't. So, that's. Yeah, if I'm Nolan, I would just think that off the rip anyway. And if I'm Nolan's agent, I would have pushed that off the rip anyway. So it is really weird that DC just didn't trust him. Like it just feels like they didn't trust him to, deliver on something that was outside of Batman. And even someone like, I guess, Christian Bale not wanted to be Batman anymore. It's probably the shit that what Affleck's going through now, where he probably feels just the pressure from not only like Batman stands, but even from DC also, that you have to be the character in this certain way, and if it's not right, that we're just not going to fuck with it. And to be fair, Affleck is a terrible Batman, but he's been trying to get out of Batman for like the last few months.
Yeah.
If you believe blogs. So
yeah. Another one of my favorite scenes of the movie is when Joker comes out of hospital, and he's like messing with the remote and he can't get the bomb to go off. That was totally not in the script. The bomb, effects weren't working, and so when he's hitting the remote and trying to get it to work, it literally is him trying to get it to work, and so that's all real. That whole scene is improvised.
There's a deleted scene. Whenever he hops in the school bus and they drive away, you can't really tell from the shot that's in the movie, but there's a camera mounted like in the actual back of the school bus, and it basically just shows Joker's face, and his entire time he doesn't look at the actual explosion of the hospital. Like
Oh wow!
he just detonated a fucking hospital, killing God knows who, and he just drove off like it didn't matter.
Right.
Yeah. And so another thing about Nolan, another thing about Ledger, apparently Nolan trusted Heath so much that Heath actually directed those video camera scenes when he's like video recording like the vigilante Batman and Michael Anthony Hall, the news reporter.
Oh, they're showing it right now. I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, apparently like Nolan wasn't even there. He let Ledger just direct those scenes like himself.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man. And he was the first one doing selfie shit too. Oh man, like Ledger really hit out the park, man. They all did for
Yes,
this
he
fucking
did.
movie. So yeah, so I think you're right. I think that, for the time it was properly rated, but then now that we've gotten away from the movie, a lot of people, and I think a lot of it is DC's fault, and I think some of it is a side effect of just the dominance of Marvel, where I think people overall now it's an underrated movie, and it's kind of like, I mean, even like thinking about the Golden State Warriors, where this is probably the greatest basketball team of all time, but people aren't really talking about the Showtime Lakers anymore, or even the Pistons. Even when actually, that's a great example. The Detroit Pistons of the early '90s were one of the best teams in NBA, and they won back-to-back championships. And they're basically an afterthought now. Like people, unless you were of a certain age, like you don't really reminisce on Isaiah Thomas playing with a broken leg in the finals, and you don't really think about how Rodman, before drugs or whatever, like he was one of the best NBA players, and fucking Lambeer, and like the whole like Detroit model of just like them just being fucking fierce, and we're gonna play ball, but we're gonna fuck you up in the process.
Yeah.
And that, like, those Piston championships are kind of stuck in like the pages of history are stuck together. We're talking about the '90s Pistons,
because they they go from the Lakers right into the Bulls. Yeah.
Yeah.
Forgot about Isaiah and them.
Yeah, and so after the Pistons, you get the Jordan dominance, and then you get like the Shaq and Kobe, and then that morphs into LeBron, and so I mean that's basically like, you can just say how Marvel just built up all this head of steam, and then now they're cashing on everything. But the Pistons, they had their run, and Nolan had his run too. And the run was short, but the run was still championship worthy anyway.
There hasn't been anything outside of Marvel, or anything that Marvel did prior to the MCU, that comes close to what Nolan did in 7 years with these films. He built his own universe, and he tore down his own universe, essentially.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful disaster.
It is, man. I mean, shit is better than Batman and Robin. That's all I know.
Oh my God! Everybody, chill out.
All right, everyone, chill. Oh my God, so many puns. And I know the reason why you actually like Batman Forever is because Jim Carrey, and that's the only fucking reason to even like that damn movie.
You know what? I liked him as Riddler,
Yeah.
But I didn't mind Tommy Lee Jones's Two-Face. It was a little too over the top, obviously, but it came out in '95, so I was like 12.
Yeah.
So I was very impressionable. I always liked Val Kilmer's Batman. Well, not bad. I always liked his Bruce Wayne a lot. Um, and then I didn't hate Chris O'Donnell with everything in my like. I didn't hate Robin as much because he was in the film, but he also had a smaller role in the film. And I just thought the whole plot of the movie was very interesting as far as the mind control thing. But again, I was 12, so I'm very nostalgic, and I'm willing to wax over all these. There's obviously dumb shit throughout that whole movie, but I'm willing to look over it. But when you get the Batman and Robin, and like this, the sets are so unrealistic. It barely looks like Gotham City. Batman Forever had that too at some points too.
Yeah.
But gone is the Burton Gotham City that we had learned from the first two Batman movies and some of Batman Forever. And all you got is these giant buildings with weird shapes and everything else, and it just looks so cartoonish. Honestly, the best thing about Batman and Robin is Uma Thurman because she knocked out a Parkin's Poison Ivy. That's the only good thing about that movie.
Yeah, man. I mean, we can like that's a perfect segue talking about these characters and like how good and how terrible they are. So, looking at the scope of, some of the most important and some of the most notorious Batman projects that we have, I wanted you to think about some of the best and worst Batmans. And so I wanted you to rank from very worst to very best. Who do you think who do you think the best Batman is, and rank, from worst to best. And so I have a list of prominent Batmans.
Yes.
So we have the OG Adam West. We have in the late 80s, early 90s, Michael Keaton. Then as a wild card, Kevin Conroy, who's the voice of Batman on Batman the Animated Series, which is very underrated.
The best voice of Batman, yeah, 100%.
And also we have, like you said before, Val Kilmer in 95. Completely forgotten George Clooney.
Recovering from a motorcycle accident, George Clooney, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hope he's doing well.
Apparently he's fine. It was like a nasty spill and everything, but he's good to go.
Oh, well, good for him. Don't do Batman anymore.
Yeah.
And Christian Bale, as we've been talking about all night, and also the aforementioned Ben Affleck. So of these seven, who do you? I think this is the most important award. Of these seven, who is the worst Batman of all time?
All right, so I'm just going to list from worst to best.
Yes.
And I'm just going to read names, and you can question me afterwards. Okay. The very bottom, I got Clooney.
Okay.
Above Clooney, I got to go with Kilmer. I should have thought more about this. Then, man, all right, so Clooney, Kilmer. God, I hate you right now.
Well, do you want me? Well, since you have to still think about your list, do you want me to give mine?
No, I'm gonna keep it rolling.
All right, keep it going.
I have to say Adam West, even though I love Adam West's portrayal, I have to put him here. Affleck, Conroy, no, Bale, Conroy, no, Keaton Conroy. I'm going to say Conroy, man. He never actually physically played him, but that voice is Batman. It's Batman, man. I'm putting Conroy number one.
Damn, your whole list is a hot ass take, man.
All my takes hot ass takes. So I got Conroy, I got Keaton, I got Bale, and then who did I say before? I said Affleck, West, Kilmer, Clooney. Yeah,
I think the hottest take is You think Ben Affleck is a better Batman than Adam West? That is a fucking hot take.
Marcus, I have to say it. I While I haven't watched Justice League, and that's probably when I finally do, I'm sure it's going to drop him back down the rankings.
Oh,
I
so
I have Justice League on my counter, and I've not watched it yet. So
so so you're only basing this off Dawn of Justice,
yes,
and you
Dawn of
still
Justice,
think
Dawn of Justice, Batfleck. I really liked him. I'm sorry. I thought it was good. I really liked him in that role. I thought he was one of the redeeming parts of that movie.
Oh no, that's a hot ass take, boy.
I like Batfleck in that movie, man. Like I'm Suicide Squad, he's barely in it. And I've seen some of the creepy shit that he does in Justice League to Diana, like as far as his comments and him apparently checking her out all the time, which I already am not here for. But if I'm basing it off of what I've seen, I was highly impressed with Ben Affleck in Dawn of Justice.
I think that makes you the only person in America.
I don't think so, man.
I don't think even Ben Affleck feels that he was impressive in that movie.
When's the last time you watched Dawn of Justice?
I watched those shits once. I'm never watching those movies again. And I'm gonna
You gotta go back and watch it now. You have to go
never,
back
man.
to watch just for Affleck's performance. I'm telling you, Affleck does everything in his power to save that movie, and Cavill just ain't having it. Because I'm out on Cavill all the way.
And so, do you know who I have as my worst Batman ever?
It'd be Affleck.
Ben Affleck, man. He's just fucking terrible. You know what makes him so bad? He doesn't even want to do it anymore. He has to do it for the checks. That's just sad, man. He doesn't like. If you didn't see Justice League is no good. Like everyone shit in that movie. They took Wonder Woman, who was the best character they had going, and they made her mediocre as fuck. Like, it's just disgusting. It's just fucking terrible. And so I have Ben Affleck as the worst. I have Clooney is 6. Clooney's fucking terrible as Batman. He's just bad. But you only get one movie of him, so that's better than fucking.
Yeah, he did no parts of the role right. There's no parts. The whole time I'm like, why is George Clooney on the screen? Like I never bought him as Bruce Wayne.
Not for a second, man. Not for a second at all. And then I have Val Kilmer's fifth worst.
Mm-hmm.
And so my top 4, I have Adam West at 4.
Okay.
For the OG, and I have the voice of Batman in the animated series, one of my favorite cartoon shows of all time. I mean, it's basically, you can call this shit anime. It's basically anime.
Yeah.
So it's like one of my favorite animes ever. So I have him at number 3. And so it basically comes down to either Christian Bale or Michael Keaton for the number 1 spot. And I think while Bale, I think he tries to play the dance a lot, where he tries to balance Batman with Bruce Wayne. I think that I still think that Michael Keaton does the best. He pulls off the best, and the broodiness, like the grief that he actually has in the first movie is palpable, and you see that he's a broken person, but he just wants just to do right. But in these movies, you sort of see him deal with his anxiety in little ways, but it's not really it's not really palpable in the way that it is with Keaton. And if you think of Bruce Wayne as like the billionaire like bachelor with like mad hoes or whatever, like he pulled that off pretty well, but you know what it is too? Other than like Michael Keaton playing like Bruce Wayne, the dark Bruce Wayne really well, it's just the accent. Like in Dark Knight Rises when he's like when he's talking to Bane at the end,
Yeah.
it kind of curls your skin. And I remember being in a movie theater when I first saw Dark Knight Rises, and I'm not gonna lie, I felt embarrassed. I
Yeah.
felt like because whenever he like tries to make his voice like a monster, and his voice is just very bad. And I'm really glad Michael Keaton didn't try to. Michael Keaton played it very low and very slow.
Yeah.
And
so that was something I was really glad that they did with Affleck was they did the digitized voice where it was like the voice modulator where when he's talking, you can't tell he's talking as Bruce Wayne. And I thought that was something that I would have liked to have seen in the Nolan films instead of get over here.
Yeah, he's fucking Scorpion over there, man.
Yeah.
So yeah,
100%. That's why he's not higher on my list too. The voice is always, especially like in the first movie, like when he's right before he gets the full bat costume and he has that the mobster interrogating him. And that's when he starts screaming at him. He's like, rah, 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 rah. I'm like, oh my god, what is he doing?
Yeah, because even in the Dark Knight, when he like interrogates Joker and he punching him, he's like, "Where is she?" Like, oh my god! Like in the movie, you don't really pick that up, but in the Dark Knight Rises, like it's so blatant, it's just so bad. So
yeah,
but shout out, we had to give love to Kevin Conroy. He's amazing in Batman animated series. Mark, quick, I'm a Star Wars nerd. Mark Hamill, who was a Joker in Batman animated series. So,
absolutely.
So yeah, that's top two and it's not two. So,
do you watch any of the DC animated films?
I watched a few of the Batman ones. I tried to watch Killing Joke. I can't get through it. But there are a couple of the Batman movies I saw that were good. I'm kind of blanking on them now, but did you watch any of them?
I own the Dark Knight, what was it? The Dark Knight. Damn, Dark Knight Returns. I own that one. That when they redid the kind of comic book, for the animated thing, and then I've seen several features over the years. There's nothing that's coming to mind, but Conroy plays as the voice a lot of times. He decided to get out of live action game and just focus on their animated stuff. They'd be 1,000,000 times better and did the actual release of the animated stuff because the animated stuff is always so good. What up, Deebo?
Yeah, Deebo of all people makes a moral choice in the movie.
I know. I love that.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of Batman animated movies, Batman Ninja's coming out?
No. When's that come out?
Let me see.
Hold
on. This came out apparently already. I didn't know this. Hold on. It says it came out April 24th.
Oh.
Holy shit, I gotta get this then. Did you ever see the trailer for it?
No.
Oh, it was fucking awesome. Like,
I'm gonna check it out.
It's pretty rad. So yeah, so shout out to the legend Kevin Conroy.
Absolutely.
Shout out to him.
Shout out to Ben Affleck.
Nah, fuck that dude, dog. Stop ruining my childhood heroes, dog.
No, I mean Ben Affleck is pretty much trash, so I can't be shouting him out too much. But I like this Batman, but like I said, once I watch Justice League, it'll drop back down to normal levels. Okay.
It will, trust me. All right, so we ranked the Batmans. I initially asked you like what were your top 5 movie villain list. If you didn't make one, that's fine. Because I think it really only comes down to two people. It's either Heath Ledger or Thanos.
Yeah.
Like who do you think is actually the best villain in any of these movies? Because I think it's either one or him. It's either Joker or Thanos. So
Yeah.
who do you think has the number one spot?
Thanos. So Thanos, like Brolin played the shit out of that character. Like you thought you were going to maybe roll in, you get a lot of CGI, and like we didn't know what kind of Thanos we were going to get. We hadn't seen that much of Thanos throughout the little clips we had seen, so nobody knew what kind of Mad Titan we were going to get. But Brolin brought it. That whole movie. It's very much a Thanos movie, just like Dark Knight is very much a Heath Ledger movie. I I gotta give it to my man Heath, man.
Oh,
I mean, 10 years later, every time he's on screen, I've had trouble not watching it. I mean, obviously, I'm supposed to be glancing at it. I'm supposed to be listening to you mainly. And like he comes on the screen, I'm just transfixed. And I have a feeling that as the more I watch Infinity War as the years go by, I'll feel the same way about Brolin. I felt that way in the theater as I watched Brolin on screen because he's such a he's such a big presence, obviously, on what's going on in the story and physically on the screen. But I'm gonna go with my man Heath on this one.
oh that's a really
Normal take.
well, no, I think it's a hard choice. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
because I think just the awesomeness of Thanos and the destruction he caused is so great.
And that line he said to Thor is so iconic. He should have aimed for the head. Snap.
Yeah. And I mean, but I think the edge probably should go to the Joker because, I mean, you had like a part of Thanos's sort of lore is his like his big menacingness and him boxing out the Hulk, like Mike Tyson in his prime.
Mm-hmm.
But those are things, that are enhanced, by Marvel and their, the graphics.
Their world building.
Yeah. And so Joker, like Heath Ledger, he had to do everything. Like he had to do the mannerisms. Like he had to do just think of the effectiveness of the magic trick when you make the pencil disappear. I remember like in the movie theater when that shit happened, like that shit was funny, but it was sick.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt bad laughing at it. Like that shit was crazy. And so you have moments that, you could only do if there's actors playing off of other actors. But Brolin, he really did master the Thanos voice, and he really mastered like the mannerisms with his voice, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. The ticks.
Yeah, and so, and like even in a moment where he tells Tony, "I hope they remember you," like that's a cold. Like think about, imagine saying that to someone about to kill. That's cold as fuck.
That's a cold ass line.
Yeah. So yeah, man. I think that I gotta give the slight edge to Joker, but it's a clear race between them two. So yeah. I don't think
there's nobody comes close.
I don't think anyone ever will come close again. Like who? I can't even think of.
Honestly, as much as I love Killmonger, he's not in the conversation.
No, man, he's not.
I mean, Winter Soldier could have been, but obviously he went back to being Bucky. He spent more time unbrainwashed than he has brainwashed in MCU on screen at least. Ultron, like I said, I was way more impressed with Ultron when I did this rewatch recently. but he doesn't compete. None of Spider-Man's villains, even though I thought Michael Keaton did an excellent Vulture, he's not up there on that level. The only one that I can think of, we talked about it when we talked about the Iron Man episode, the only one who has potential to be in that conversation, but there wasn't enough of him really, would have been Jeff Bridges as Ironmonger in Iron Man 1, I think.
Yeah, he was. We talked about it before, but he was really good as Ironmonger. He was so good.
Obadiah Stane.
Yeah, yeah, man.
White ass name.
Oh, that's super cocaine white.
Oh yes.
I mean, shit. The only other people possibly in the mix, I think. I mean, if we were to make a top five, I mean, I think he would crack the top five. I think Nicholson's Joker probably would crack the top five, and
yeah.
The other one, I mean, someone random like John Leguizamo and Spawn.
The clown.
Something like totally random like that, but
I thought that movie was so good when I was a kid too.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it since it came, like maybe about a year or two after it came out.
Oh, I think I saw it like maybe like 3 years ago, but I never finished it, so I don't remember if it's really that good. But I remember loving that movie as a kid, so I'm hoping it's still good.
Good luck, buddy. Good luck. Where we at now? What we got left?
All right, so we talked about the best Batmans and the best Jokers and best villains overall. So we only have just a few more questions left. Okay. So these are, I guess, sort of the summation of just Dark Knight in general. So 2008, it had a lot of great movies. Just to name a few, the OG Cloverfield, Semi-Pro, Forgetting Sarah Marshall, as you talked about before, Iron Man, the 10-year anniversary of Step Brothers just passed.
Yes, it did.
The classic Tropic Thunder, and a couple good, great acting movies. Curious Case of Benjamin Button, Milk, and Frost Nixon, and Slumdog Millionaire. All these movies came out in 2008 along with The Dark Knight. Dark Knight was not nominated for Movie of the Year at the Emmys. Slumdog Millionaire won for Best Picture and Best Director. The only thing that won was for Heath Ledger won for Best Supporting Actor.
Yes.
And they won some sound award, which isn't shit. No. So there's actually a stellar list of movies from 2008. Do you think of that year, looking back, and even in the middle, but looking back, do you think Dark Knight Rises was the best movie of 2008?
Yes. The only two on your list that you got here that I would say, hell, there's only Iron Man's on there. So yeah, two that I would say compete would be Iron Man, and I really love The Wrestler, but also I'm a pro wrestling fan, so I'm biased. Yeah. I really like the first Cloverfield a lot too. I think it gets hella slept on now, especially with the sequels coming out and not being direct sequels to the original Cloverfield. But I'd say Iron Man and The Wrestler competes, but and Slumdog was a good movie, and so was Milk. I mean, not to take anything away from the dramatic choices you got here. Great comedy films, but they're not going to come close to Dark Knight or anything like that. But yeah, Dark Knight was definitely the best movie of 2008. I think it should have gotten a nomination at least.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it even got a nomination for Best Picture. I don't think it ever nominated any movie for Best Picture. like comic book movie.
Yeah, they did not, like, Nolan didn't even get nominated for Best Director,
Right.
if I remember right. So I'm looking up right now, but
Why did Gordon just take the axe to the bat signal while it was on? That's stupid. He could have electrocuted himself in the rain.
holy shit, I never even thought of that.
The first time I thought of it, like it's literally pouring down rain. He's taking an axe
He
to
is
the
a
bat signal.
he is a metal axe chopping in the rain and could get electrocuted. That's
Oh man.
damn. That's fucking funny.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I think. So yeah, I do think that. I mean, I think it definitely is like one of the best. I think it is the best movie of that year. Benjamin Button was really good. Frost Nixon. That was a little bit of a slow burn, but that movie was pretty good. Milk was really good. I never saw the rest of it. I always wanted to see it, but I just like never caught it.
Mm-hmm.
I never saw Slumdog Millionaire, but I mean, it's a musical.
I watched it in class once. We watched it in. Damn, I don't remember what class it was, but we watched it, and I was definitely into it because it wasn't. Was that one of my? It was definitely a class I wasn't feeling, but we were watching this movie, and I thought it was cool, but I haven't watched it since then.
Yeah, I mean, I never even had an inkling to watch that damn movie.
Right.
But I mean, if it's a musical and it's not Purple Rain or Moonwalker, or Streets is watching, I'm probably not going to watch it.
Streets is watching.
Yeah, man.
Classic.
Another classic '08 movie, Taken.
Yeah, Taken definitely was the best out of the three. And that came out of left field. Like I remember I was working shoe department and I was ringing out some couple. They're like, "Oh, we just went to go see Taken. It was so good." Everybody when at the end of the movie, everybody stood up and clapped. I'm like, "Oh, damn, for real?"
That's a lot.
Y'all feeling that way about Taken on a matinee night? That's what's up.
I didn't do that, so
yeah.
I guess they're better people than me. But yeah, so yeah, we can agree that in a clean sweep, 2008 belonged to Dark Knight.
Yes.
And the funny thing is, like, Ledger got nominated for Joker. Bale never even got nominated for Best Actor.
No, he didn't.
Yeah. And so, I mean, he would have been against Sean Penn and Brad Pitt that year and Mickey Rourke from The Wrestler that year, so he wouldn't have won, but he didn't even get the look, so.
Yeah. It was definitely tough to do that year, but if I had to pick anyone that wasn't Ledger, who's MVP, I'm going to say it's going to be Bale. Because Bale, as much as heavy lifting as Ledger did, Bale did just as much. I mean, awful Batman voice aside, I mean, like throughout the course of the film, I mean, he had already lost his childhood home, first film, loses love of his life, has to pretty much become the bad guy and take the rap for Harvey Dent at the end. So there's a lot of moving parts to his story as well, and I think Bale was up to the challenge, and it definitely showed.
Yeah, like I said before, like they really are, you know, they are opposites of each other, and the awesomeness of Ledger is really due to how grounded Bale is as Batman, and so it really is an unstoppable force, meaning an immovable object. Like they have to be those sorts of equals that make the movie work. And the MVP of this movie, not named Heath Ledger, has to be Christian Bale.
Yep.
If it's not Christian Bale, it's got to be Christopher Nolan, because Nolan is the one who put it all together. But for the movie's sake specifically, it's got to be Christian Bale.
Yeah, there's no other way around it. I agree.
Yeah.
It's just too damn good for his own good.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks that like Bale's career is really weird because you would have thought his career would have been. I don't think his career isn't big, but I just think he makes sort of weird choices in movies, like because he did Terminator, but
He did.
that
Forgot all
movie
about it.
it just wasn't good. And then he got caught on like video, like screaming at like one of the
Yeah,
like hands or whatever.
yes, he did. I remember when that audio hit the blogs.
Yeah, man. He just I think he's sort of like we are talking about Jared Leto earlier. Like he's definitely not he's a way better actor than Leto, but I think he's one of those actors that just takes just acting too seriously. So
Oh yeah.
but then I think at the same time, like he just makes sort of just weird choices for his films, like because he did that like Western movie that came out like a couple of months ago,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like I mean it's a Western in 2018. Like who wants to really see that?
Not a lot of
So
people.
yeah,
You gotta be a fan of a western to go see a western. Like if it
yeah,
comes, it's one thing you put it on Netflix or Hulu and it gets a little fan base, but to literally see it, um, go to a movie theater for a wide release, that's a tough choice. Um, did you see The Big Short with Christian Bale in it?
I did, and that was probably like the last good movie he was in.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It actually made me pick up the book.
Oh,
I haven't finished by no means. I got into it for a couple chapters, and then it's there's a lot of I understand it, but then I definitely want to finish it at some point. But the movie definitely piqued my interest in the book, and I thought he was good. I thought my man Steve Carell was good, and
yeah.
Ryan Gosling, of course, him being his lazy-eyed self popping up, he's always good most of the time. So
Jeez.
I know me taking cheap shots. You can tell I'm getting sleepy. I have no problem with Ryan Gosling until he does
Yeah.
something that pops up on Twitter. But he's with Eva Mendes. If something comes out, he did something stupid, I'll be shocked. But honestly, no, I'm not shocked by anything anymore. So we'll see.
Yeah, but I think Bell, he has way more misses than hits. Like, I
Yes.
mean, because looking at his movie shit, like, he just doesn't pick the right choices for the most part. He was in that white Egyptian movie, Exodus. He
Yeah, he
was
was.
Moses. Oh my God, he played fucking Moses.
Of course he
Jesus
did.
Christ. Oh my
Because
God.
when he definitely feels like when he takes a role, he feels like he's and you see who he's playing. It definitely feels like he takes roles based on his ego. I think.
Speaking of that, that's actually perfect thing you just said.
Yeah.
In 1999, he did a TV film called Mary, Mother Joseph. Guess who Christian Bale played in this movie?
All right. I'm gonna give you one guess. I think it starts with a J and ends with a Jesus.
Jesus of Nazareth.
Yes, sir.
He played Jesus of Nazareth.
Oh wow, Christian.
Oh man, his name, Jesus. Oh my God, his name. Oh man.
I now that we're talking about Christian Bale, I think if anything, he just completely nixed being Batman anymore. It feels like he was done. I think if he wanted to, I think DC would have found a way to make it work. But he was just like, yeah, I'm gonna go find something else now. I've
Yeah.
been the biggest comic book character pretty much of that. When people say what superhero do you want to be, most times somebody's gonna say Batman. So
Yeah.
I've been to the mountaintop, Apex Mountain, as far as superheroes go. So I'm gonna go be in a movie with Jennifer Lawrence now.
Yeah, man, because he did Terminator right after Dark Knight,
Yes, he
and
did. Did it come out the same year or was it
not
2009?
it came out in 2009,
Okay, I knew they were
and
really close because he got a
uh,
lot of bad publicity. Because I mean, he just had Dark Knight, and then all of a sudden he's screaming at PAs or whatever and just talking to them like they're pieces of trash.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's damn, it's really wild that like we got this awesome performance from Ledger, and that was his last one, and we got this really good performance in Bale, and unfortunately, it wasn't his last one. Like, he just kept churning them bitches out, man. Because between 2009, okay, damn, that's really weird. Okay, so between 2009 and now, he's basically done about a dozen movies, and only Dark Knight Rises, Public Enemies, American Hustle, and The Big Short are actually worth a damn.
Mm-hmm.
But he has a lot of different just flops sprinkled in here every now and then. He just doesn't make good choices as an actor. That's basically the long and short of it.
I started the movie over and I just watched the whole opening bank robbery sequence again. And again, kudos to Nolan, kudos to Ledger, a man William Fichtner, however you say his name, getting the bomb in the mouth because he's a bad guy anyway. But he always pops up when you least expect it. He's one of those character actors that is like, oh, I know that guy from so and so. It's William Fichtner. Yeah, this movie just holds up so well. I could literally sit here and watch it all over again. I'm not even kidding. Like back to back, like a certain Canadian rapper who I don't know how I feel about it yet, so I'm not going to talk about it.
Oh, that album's trash. That's all it is. But so
I got to rob there myself before I'll say it.
So William, you said William Fichtner?
Yeah.
He's the mob boss banker.
Yes.
Yeah, he definitely a that guy type of person.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest role I remember him in '99 is a movie called Go, and it's like Taye Diggs is in it, and it's basically like this story of like these different people in LA just I don't know. It's kind of weird to explain, but
yeah,
he plays a have you ever seen it before?
No, I have not seen it.
He plays a cop who's seemingly gay and he's hitting on this actor. But he tries to sell him Amway products.
Amway.
It's strange, but that movie's like really good.
Wow.
Yeah, it's super weird, but
every time I see him, I think of Adam Sandler's Longest Yard remake because he was like the head guard.
He was. Hold on, I gotta Google this person, make sure we're talking about the same person.
Okay.
Because it'd be really funny if we're not. Because this would be totally funny.
I bet you it's the same guy.
What's his last name again?
Fichtner. It's like FIC. Hold on, I got the cast up here somewhere. That's Superman and stuff.
Oh yeah, I got him. Yeah, it is the same guy.
Is it? See?
Yeah, he was in fucking I don't know if you ever remember this movie Strange Days.
Yes, I've seen Strange Days.
He's a racist cop in the movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, man.
So all the pieces still matter, Marcus.
I know. All right, so from segueing from racist cops to The Dark Knight, and we're gonna ignore that Joker killed just all black people. We're gonna ignore that. So just thinking about the legacy of The Dark Knight and just where it stands on American film culture, is this, because we both agree that it's definitely changed the landscape of how comic book movies can be not only like viewed but taken seriously, and how they can actually.
I'm sorry not to interrupt, but I did anyway. Now that I've rewatched it recently, and then because I just watched Winter Soldier, I see a lot of things Winter Soldier, like as far as the pacing goes, took from Dark Knight. I definitely can see it, the similarities in certain places.
Yeah, so understanding that, and just thinking about the legacy of the Dark Knight, where do you feel like this ranks as far as like American cinema this millennium, and also do you think that this is still the greatest action, well, not action movie, but the greatest comic book movie of all time, or where do you think it ranks?
I'm so biased by Marvel. Um, I'd say comic book wise, I'd say you still got to find a way to get it in at least top six. It might even still be top four, but then immediately I'm thinking about Winter Soldier, Black Panther, Avengers, um, things that I would put ahead of it. On some days, I feel like Iron Man's a better movie, but that's because I really love Iron Man, and I know that's not true. So I think Iron Man would always come slightly behind it. Um, I don't know how I feel about Infinity War's ranking yet. I got to see how it all ends before I think I can actually rank that movie. It's so traumatic. Um, Guardians is up there for me. So I think it's definitely I'm going to say it's a top six comic book movie of all time, with its competition being most of the MCU movies. There's nothing pre-MCU that I would put up there. As far as being just movie-wise in the past, and since the turn of the century, I'd say it's a top 25 film in the last 18 years. And like I said, I feel like it's a movie, if it's ages well after 10 years, I feel like it's a movie that's going to go on and will be analyzed for years to come. And I really feel like it's going to be one of those things where one night we'll turn on the TV and like, oh yeah, they're having like AFI, one of those film academies, or like inducting it into its Hall of Fame, and they're making this big to do about this film that was just thought to be a Batman movie and turned out to be this incredible work of art. So I think it's highly influential, and I think that there's still things that people can learn from it the more that they delve into it.
Oh man, yeah, I think that you're right. The influence of the movie is, you even point out Winter Soldier. I think it really did change the landscape of how we can legitimately view action movies, and especially comic book movies, and even movies now like The Last Jedi, where you really are wrestling with these different sort of weighty characters, and questioning like what's right and what's wrong. All that stems from The Dark Knight. And I think it really did change how, even with the dollars that it raked in, it really did change how seriously we actually take comic book movies. Because even this sort of, you can say like Big Bang Theory, like sort of commercialized like nerd culture in a sense.
Yeah.
But this movie, everyone watched this movie, and it grossed, the trilogy, worth $1 billion.
Yes.
And, even in itself, this movie is $1 billion movie. It grossed like over $1 billion from the box office. So, it wasn't just people, quote unquote, who are nerds or geeks or whatever. This was a part of American culture and American cinema experience. And I think that's something that it can hold over Marvel, and the fact that, like, for Infinity War, as great as it is, you have to be invested in this MCU to actually fully grasp the weight of
What's
Infinity
happening?
War.
Yeah.
You can legit just turn on, The Dark Knight, not really knowing you don't even really need to see Begins for the most part. You can just pick up where Batman is just beating up Scarecrow
And
and
I
just go.
and I think that's actually one of the great things about this movie is Begins is a good movie, but I probably could count the number of times I've rewatched Begins on like one hand. Like it's
Yeah,
not something I own it, and I've never really been like, let me watch Batman Begins again. But like you see Batman Begins is on cable, it's like, what scene is it? All right, I watched a couple minutes. All right, I'm gonna keep going. You see Dark Knight on cable, you're stopped.
yeah,
100%.
yeah. So I think just that initial feeling of leaving the movie theater at 2:30 in the morning, completely wild. I think that just seeing the influence of the movie just on other, just action and comic book movies in general. I don't think we get Logan without this. I don't think we get, like I said, because even the Last Jedi, which it's not necessarily a comic book movie, it's still science fiction,
Mm-hmm.
and the dynamic of Kylo Ren with his parents, like you're not really going to get that. I don't think you really get that if we don't see Nolan sort of challenge these sorts of things, and yeah, I think that the movie is so influential, and even without DC openly celebrating it, the movie is so influential that it's undeniable. And so I think the legacy of this movie is that it should go down as the greatest comic book movie ever. And while I think the quality of like Infinity War and Winter Soldier, I think the quality of those movies are better than The Dark Knight. But I think when you take into the totality of everything and the influence that the movie had, I think it's so undeniable that it really can't be understated how great the movie actually is.
Mm-hmm.
And so because I think it basically planted the seed, and the seed sprouted to all these great things. And it basically, took it and ran with it and, made it better. I just think because this is the original, I don't think we can forget the original, and so I still think we have to put it at number one.
Yeah. So you're just taking it over everything that's come after, saying it's your number one.
I mean, like I said, if you ask me what's a better movie, like what?
No,
Ah,
I mean I
man,
definitely see your points, but I mean you just said you got to put it number
yeah.
one.
I mean, I I just think just for the respect that the movie garners, I think it has to be number one.
Okay.
Um, I mean, I love Infinity War. I love Winter Soldier. Because even emotionally, like for me, Black Panther is just important to me.
Mm-hmm.
But for those movies and all their greatness, they still all have origins back to the Dark Knight,
Yeah.
and it just can't be denied. I like because even like it's the originator. It's the original. Like I said, like you can make a remix. The remix can be better than the original. You can have generations that are better than the original. But I think if you'd ask me the quality of movie, which is better, Infinity War or Dark Knight, I want to say Infinity War. And I saw Infinity War 4 times in the movies. I've only seen Dark Knight. I think I only saw it twice in the movie theaters.
Yeah, so did I.
Um, but I felt sort of a connection to these characters so much
Mm-hmm.
that I felt something when Tony got stabbed, and then I felt confused when he lived. So I felt these things with these characters, but I didn't need to be heavily invested in Batman Begins to understand the scope and the you know the greatness of The Dark Knight. If I never watched all those Marvel films, I'm not going to really understand, why Black Panther disappearing at the end of the movie is very just like, oh damn, like
Right.
and seeing Peter Parker, evaporate, why that was very sad. Like you don't really get it. And so I think because Dark Knight is a standalone, it can stand on its own. Even with it being a sequel, it's a standalone. The other movies, in MCU that came after it, they just aren't really that. And so while the Iron Man, the OG Iron Man, that is a standalone. But I would still, it doesn't have the same sort of psychological depth that Dark Knight has. And you can still see how they wanted to play into the cooler aspects of Tony.
Mm-hmm.
Because even if you think about it, look at Iron Man 3, you actually see Tony deal with the psychological damage of his trauma from Ultron.
Yeah.
And you actually see him deal with panic attacks, and he's actually addressing psychological needs in this movie. That's all stemming from Dark Knight. And so yeah, I still got to give the crown to the OG Dark Knight.
Okay. I ain't mad at you. I mean, like I said, I've already hit play on it for a second time, and
Yeah.
I mean, I'm definitely biased by everything the MCU does, but the only films in the Marvel universe I can think that are standalones would be Iron Man. I like to think Ragnarok is kind of a standalone film too, because
It is. They veer so much away from Dark World that it is. You can even make an argument maybe Winter Soldier is too.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Yeah.
Because you just kind of pick up in the middle of a mission, all of a sudden Shield's just going down. Like you don't have to know Captain America's backstory. It's like, okay, the guy's Captain America, he has a shield, he's a badass. Go.
Yeah.
So the influencers are definitely still there. I'm gonna let you keep it number one though. I'm gonna still say top 6, but recency bias has definitely kicked in, but I can't say how much I'm enjoying just watching the film on silent while I'm talking to you.
Exactly, man.
On mute.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's enough convincing. If you want to have a good time, but you can't listen to volume, turn on The Dark Knight and you'll enjoy it. There.
Exactly. I mean, you're not really doing that with fucking Justice League over there.
No, that's for sure. You can't do that with Dawn of Justice either. I don't care how good Affleck is in it.
So yeah,
I was waiting for it. Here we go. This guy.
So yeah, man. I think all the questions I had, we definitely covered in depth and full. And was there anything else you wanted to add about just your thoughts about Dark Knight that we haven't really talked on, or just some?
No, I think we touched on everything. I mean, no, man. I think you did a great job with your topics. We veered when we needed to veer. We went deep dive when we had to do that. So I am thoroughly pleased with our conversation here. Anything else that you wanted to add?
I think we covered everything very well. I think that we looked at the characters, we looked at Nolan, we looked at his influence, and we looked at the time period it came from then until now. And yeah, man, I mean we really did a very in-depth job of this. And so like I said, like whenever it came out initially, it was my favorite movie ever. So I mean now I think I've sort of revised the favorite of all time list. But I mean, I think, like I said, as far as the influence goes, it's it may be one of the maybe last Catalyst movies where, like, we're seeing all these splinters from the movie, and it just basically changes how, these big budget blockbusters can actually be.
Yeah.
So yeah. So yeah, I mean, DC, get your shit together, hire Nolan, do the shit again. Like,
pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah, so that, ladies and gentlemen, is our 10th anniversary recap of The Dark Knight by Christopher Nolan and Christian Bale and Heath Ledger and fuckface Oldman and Aaron Eckhart and Mally Wonderful. I mean, Maggie Gyllenhaal. So hope you enjoyed that. Hope it makes you dig out those things called DVDs, or if you're like me, figure out your streaming options and get you some Dark Knight on your TV and revisit this wonderful film. Marcus, you got anything you want to plug before we get out of here? Before I say the things I need to say, which ain't gonna be much. I'm just gonna get right to it this time.
Fuck it. The Mark Rob, TheMarcRob.wordpress.com. The last thing that I've written was about Star Wars and how.
That was funny as hell, by the way. That was hilarious.
Thank you. I wrote about basically how fanboys are fuckboys, and so people need to relax and like give Star Wars an actual chance. Before that, I wrote about just women equality and us, as men and just society in general. What are we going to do, and what are we going to do about actually caring about women's rights and equality? Are we really going to do something, or are we just going to talk each other to death? And so I visited that. The next piece I'm writing is about Drake album, Scorpion, the double disc album that just dropped about 2 weeks ago. So I need to listen to that again. I haven't listened to it. I do too. I haven't listened to it in forever, so we got to see if it holds up or not, which, spoiler, it probably doesn't. But yeah, so we're going to see what's popping off with that. And other than that, man, the only advice I have is, laugh as much, think as much, read as much as you possibly can. Try to love somebody. Shit.
There you go. Try to love somebody. Shit.
Yeah.
There you go. I love it. All right. So thank you for listening to the world's greatest podcast, Barack Obama approved. You can find Hyphen Nation on hyphenpodcastgroup.com or hyphenuniverse.com. Wherever podcasts are sold, wherever you get your podcasts, make sure you rate, review, and subscribe so you never miss an episode of the world's greatest podcast, especially when it's powered by Marcus ShowinmadLov Robinson, because you're guaranteed to get several hours worth of good content, which is what you got in your hand here. And you know what? I haven't gotten one complaint about how long these episodes go, Marcus, so we're just going to keep rolling with them because I think they're so damn good. And I think we get into it pretty well without being repetitive.
Yeah, I might keep
and even
rolling.
If they do complain, I don't care. You can listen to it's Alapal. It'll give you a cool 60 minutes instead of 2.5 hours. listen to Eric and some back episodes or something until they relaunch season 3. If you want to get a hold of Marcus, it's at ShowinmadLov on Twitter. I'm at B- on Twitter, b-at gmail.com, or if you want to just email us all together, you can just do Hyphen Podcast Group at gmail.com. Socials for Hyphen Podcast Group are at Hyphen Pod Group on Twitter, Hyphen Podcast Group on Facebook, and Hyphen Podcast Group on Instagram. Yeah, man, so that's about it. I mean, power positivity is real. Get that negativity out of your life. No matter what that is, no matter what you have to do you. Marcus already gave you some words of wisdom. So without further ado, go watch Dark Knight. Rest in peace, Heath Ledger.
Cheer.
Thanks, y'all.
Shit, man, I just saw fucking Ant-Man, man.
Did you?
Yes, man, yes. And oh boy, that shit was fucking fire.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It was
man.
so good.
It was. I mean, well, if we're live, we're not gonna do any spoilers, but
Well,
man,
I don't know how many people's actually watching us, but let's go ahead and talk about it. I don't care. 'Cause I'm gonna edit. I'm gonna edit it down for the actual episode anyway. So,
okay, are you recording it now then?
uh, YouTube's recording it, and then I'll just chop the audio from the video that's recording. So,
Cool. So it's definitely, I think it's the funniest Marvel movie I can remember, and I figured out like how they're gonna do part two. Did so you've seen it, right?
yeah, I saw it last Thursday.
Yeah. So what do you think about it?
I loved it. I loved the first one, and I actually went to go see it with my friend Johnny Harmonic, and
Oh, yeah.
we checked it out in 3D, and it was awesome. Like I thought the first one was funny, but I thought this one was way funnier. I thought
Yeah.
the action moved way better,
Yeah.
and I just thought it was a better use of Paul Rudd's talents. The whole cast just got to shine, especially Evangeline Lilly. She killed it.
Yeah, man. Like, I definitely think it blows the first one out the water. Like, I mean, Marvel has figured this shit out, man. Like, Marvel has totally, I mean, I don't want to say game the system, but I mean, they just learned that, like, look, we just need to have dope action and make people laugh. And,
Yeah,
like, there were parts where I, like, cried laughing. Like, there were tears rolling on my cheek. That's how funny the show
when
was.
your boy was it's on the Truth Serum that they kept yelling wasn't Truth Serum.
Oh,
Oh,
that shit was
that
funny.
was so good.
The whenever Paul Rudd was like leaving the school and he was getting into the van, like that, like I knelt over. Like that shit was fucking hilarious.
He was stuck between size. He was stuck like medium size. Yeah.
Yeah, man, that shit was funny. So I think what they're gonna have to do is like to tie. I mean, obviously they're tying in everything to like Infinity War Part Two, but so I think what they're gonna do is, I mean, because like he's caught into like the time vortex or whatever. Well, the quantum vortex or
Quantum
whatever.
realm. Yeah.
Yeah, the realm. So I think, I think I think the ants are going to like get him out somehow.
Okay.
And I think with the quantum vortex and the shit he collected, I think they're going to figure out how to actually manipulate time through it. And because I don't know if you picked up on it, but Michelle Pfeiffer was like, what'd she say? You got to be careful when you're in the realm because you may hit a time vortex. Mm-hmm. So I think Zuri is going to be alive still, and Banner's going to be alive anyway. So I think they're going to figure out a way to like.
Well, you said Zuri?
From Black Panther.
Right.
T'Challa's sister.
Oh, sure. I thought you meant Zuri as in the dude that Killmonger killed, the Black Panther.
Oh no. T'Challa's sister.
Forrest Whitaker. I was like, wait, Zuri? What's Zuri got to do with this? No, okay, I'm with you. My bad.
Yeah, so I think they're going to figure out how to manipulate time like through the quantum realm, which is going to be, I think, will be interesting as fuck. So, yeah, man, like that's.
I kind of thought that too. I should have seen the ending coming with all them fading away, but as soon as like they started talking about it, Michelle Pfeiffer had lasted all those years down there. I mean, she had aged, but at the same time, it's like this is something that feels like could be the answer when Avengers 4 comes out, and then everybody faded. So the snap happened, and that just immediately ruined my mood, man. Every time I think about that damn snap. It's so brutal. We haven't even talked about it on the pod because we still haven't gotten the brain trust together to do it. But I mean, it's coming out soon on July 31st.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've already seen it 4 times. I think we're gonna try to catch it one more time because you got to figure like there's gonna be nothing like I'm never gonna have like a video home system's gonna rival a movie theater.
Oh, absolutely
So
not.
yeah, like I figure I might as well get in like one last time. Um, but it depends on if it's actually out or not. So, huh?
You're not going to be like our dude who's seen it like, what, 80 times now?
Hell no. Like that's like the only thing I can think of would be he went like immediately after work or before work.
Mm-hmm.
And nah, man, like that's just too much. Like I don't even listen to albums that back to back anymore. Like I can't go to
Right.
movies that long. So and after a while, I figured like after the 10th time, within like a week, like your senses have to become numb to it. So it's like you're basically just. I feel like he has to tune out. Like whenever Manus has like Thanos in the trance, I guarantee he's thinking about, damn, I wonder if my paycheck right this week. Like he's got it zoned out in some way, man. So
Absolutely. I saw he tweeted not too long ago that he was reading signs and stuff like in the background because he had seen it so many times. I'm like, what is the point? I mean, I get it. Like,
yeah,
I would like to see Black Panther about 80 times in the theater. I can't lie, but
yeah.
Infinity War was just so brutal for me.
Oh man,
It's rough.
It's oh man, they just figured out a way how to really. They understood like how we don't need to, I guess, like play into people's expectations. We can just amplify because everyone knows going to be a part two, but we can still do these things that's going to make us feel something. Like whenever Tony got stabbed, like everyone in the theater like lost, like the air went out the room. Like everyone was like, "Holy shit, this is it!" Like Tony just got fucking stabbed, and then he lived, and you're like, he lived, and so. And yeah, man. So I think, like I said, man, I really think they figured it out. Like they really know, like we can be original and we can take risk, and but we can hire like the best actors to do the shit. And because even like Ant-Man, because you would think a part like Michael Pena, like that sort of part, like it could be like cheesy or just like if the wrong actor did it, like you just like get this guy off the screen or whatever. But Michael Pena is fucking funny as shit in like both movies, and they deserve they really deserve a lot of credit for seeing the vision. Like, look, like we're going to get the best people, like, and we're going to tell our stories the way we want to, and we're not going to be beholden to just like pandering into like the crowds, or whatever. We're just going to tell what we want to tell. And so, when Black Panther got iced out in Infinity War, like that's when I knew like they didn't give a fuck about black people. They just wanted to get this shit popping. So yeah,
MCU
man.
does not care about black people. Here we go.
They don't, man. They don't. But
Diddy called out. Did you see Diddy was saying that Black Panther was like a head fake by Hollywood, and all they did was tease like all like black entertainment pretty much by doing this blockbuster movie, but then not following it up with anything else in the pipeline and just doing this one big movie.
I mean, I didn't see that, but I mean, it's true to that. The funny thing is, you remember when Kendrick first dropped Control, and like every rapper was like, "Yo, I'm about to hit the studio. This is gonna change rap forever." Like, it was a moment, and everyone really felt the moment. So, I mean, I think Black Panther. I mean, it was definitely a moment, and everyone's gonna be waiting for part two. But it's gonna be up to the other studios outside of Marvel to be like, look. I mean, black people have talent, like brown people have talent, like Asian people have talent. Like, let's just give them money to see what they can do, and let's get this shit popping, man. Like, I mean, because if we're looking just for Marvel to, save black cinema, I mean, that's just going to ignore it's going to ignore reality. Like
Yes.
there are plenty of black people with plenty of stories to tell, and whether you're gay, straight, live in the city, live in the country, like even just you're non-black American, like if you're immigrant, your parents are immigrants, just like our stories varied, and you don't have to be a hip hop guy or whatever. Like you don't have to even be an R&B person. Like you can just be a black kid just living your life. Then all of a sudden, shit goes left in a bad way.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, those stories deserve to be told, and I think it's gonna take Hollywood to really look and be like, look, we saw Black Panther and we saw like black people going to turn out for stuff. So this movie about black people falling in love, like maybe we can give that a chance now, or we can make like a black version of like Sleepless in Seattle, or like I mean, because if you think about it, like I mean, of in recent memory, like even the last 20 years, there hasn't even been really like a black romantic comedy movie without being like too goofy, or just like, or even a like it's like any black movie is going to be either too goofy or have just some trauma, just some fucked up trauma where
you're right.
We're dealing with the ramifications of slavery and poverty. Like our stories include that, but they're not limited to just that.
Yeah,
So,
it's not all tragedy and jokes.
Yeah, even for like, let's say your family, like you have, your wife and your kid, and you're living a life. Like we can just tell a story of like you and your daughter just having just some random adventure one day, and it doesn't involve drive-by shootings.
No,
it doesn't involve like crack. so yeah,
didn't involve food stamps.
Yeah, exactly. Like it can just be black people living just their black ass lives. Like
yeah.
So yeah, man. I mean, we can say Puff may be jaded, which I mean he should be. I mean Hollywood hasn't Hollywood hasn't really proven itself yet on a number of fronts that it wants to change anything.
Right.
But yeah, I mean these next couple of years are really going to smoke out like who's for real and who's not. So yeah, man. I mean, I would say Puffy is right so far, but we just got to give it a chance.
Yeah. So speaking of Hollywood,